All right, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Good morning, fellow gang. All right, y'all ready to pick back up? Y'all know we gonna jump right into it. We ain't waiting on nobody. We ain't waiting on nobody. Let me get the screen share going. Here we go. We on day 8 now. Remember, the last that we had was the gang expert. Let me make sure we got we're on the right portion of it, because he had on blue last time. He got on black today. So okay. I don't know what's going on outside, but it just scared the hell out of me.
Let the record reflect the presence of the defendants as counsel. Please be seated. The assistant state attorney will come in hearing and please have a seat, sir. I just want to remind you that you remain under oath. All right? Yes, sir. So you all have a nice weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to pick up where we left off on Thursday. So, Madam State, I think you're still on your examination this week.
That's correct.
Please proceed.
Thank you. You are the same Detective Danny Polo that was here last week?
Same one, different suit.
Okay. Same mask?
Same mask.
Okay, we left off on page 24, publishing what is been admitted into evidence as State 70. Okay, going on to, this is still the chat with the number that's saved in as Gino. So going now, I'm going to skip ahead to page 28. I want to make sure it's visible so everybody can read it. The name G-O-O-N, Goon.
Yes.
Is that an individual you were able to identify?
Yes.
And who is that?
His name is Isaiah Eberhart. I don't think I'm pronouncing the last name correctly.
Okay, going down here. The message that is coming in from the ending in 9807 phone number. What in this particular message from September 29th of 2018 tells you that this is somehow affiliated with G-Shine or GKB?
The first indication that it's blood related would be taking out the letter C from Recruitment, putting a K, and then the second one would be the use of the term Kirk. which is a common set of views between members of the committee.
Okay.
Address themselves, address each other.
So going now to page 29 of State 70, and the message from Gino, contact on October 4th of 2018. With regards to this message, if you could please read it aloud for the jury.
You are truly talented, beloved. It's an honor to lead you. Thanks for the opportunity. I won't let you down.
Can you make any opinions or conclusions from that message about the relationship between the person identified as Gino and the person who's on the other side of the conversation ending in 9807?
Well, the first thing I want to note on this message is the word honor is in all caps. That's one of the it's one of the words associated to certain G-Shine blood symbols: honor, respect, loyalty. So the fact that Gino made that all caps is indicative of just showing more additional blood-related language. Gino's expressing to the 9807 number. I got that right, 9807?
Yes.
9807 number, that he's that person, the 9807 number, is a talented individual, and he appreciates the opportunity.
Can you say about the rankings or the hierarchy between the two?
Based on the previous messages, Gino is one of the subjects that was above the 9807 number. He was one of the subjects involved in recruiting the 9807 number.
Okay. The response from the 9807 number, is this again using those same codes that you previously talked about on Thursday?
Yes, he says always, and he's just responding to messages, and he calls him Herc, which is a common G-Shine, like saying bro or dude or something like that, or brother. DL stands for down low, which means I hear you, and SL is shine love.
Okay.
It's G-Shine, shine love. It's one of the terms they use.
Okay, going to the next message on page 29. And if you could read that one aloud for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Quando denied saying anything about you, Q or the hood.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what the hood is normally used to refer to?
The hood would be the blood organization or G-Shine organization. Specifically here, he mentions that he didn't say anything about, or he denied saying anything about not just the hood, but Q. And Q would be Dewan Burton.
Okay.
Like Q-Shine.
And so the last two messages from the 9807 number and then the response from Gino. It's a little bigger, sorry.
9807 said, ain't worried. And Gino, he's gonna get his day, mark my words.
I want to go forward, page 30. The message of October 6, 2018 at 12:05 a.m. If you could read the one that is right there in the center of the screen.
All right, Gino states, I'm on the line with Tall Godfather, GF. He wants a sit down with you and Jay Green. Jay Green is Jalen Green of Mr. Downey's associates, who happens to be part of a different G-Shine set. Me, you, Jay Green, and him.
Okay. Going now to that same page, the message on October 8th of 2018, 12:43 p.m. Can you read this message and then translate it, please?
To stay in tune is to communicate, bro. If you feel like it's too much, you can line up elsewhere, but you won't get the perks and respect you get now. The choice.
What does that translate to?
So based on context from the messages I read, the 9807 number wasn't checking in and communicating with members of Gino's lineup, Gino's set enough, and he's letting the 9807 number know that if it's too much for him, if he can't follow the rules and check in as it's required, then he can pick a different set, different blood set, different lineup. Specifically uses the word lineup, but he's saying their set has the most respect.
Okay, so going to page 31, I want to go to now the message from the 9807 phone number on October 23rd of 2018.
Just says beloved.
And then going on to October 24th of 2018 at 12:37 a.m. What does that message show?
The GKB or G-Shine, Gangsta Killer Blood, both.
Okay.
They go by many names, like I stated before.
Is this the same that was reflected in some of those emails that you had previously discussed?
I would have to go to the email, make sure, see if it's word for word the same, but it's consistent with the G-Shine Health.
Okay, and that was previously admitted as state 69. And state 68. Are the other two that we've done so far. So,
Thank you. You want to know what page I'm on?
please, if you could refer to one for that.
Page 4, under the rules, says oath /red alert. And I'll read directly from here first. I take this oath and solemnly swear to uphold, honor, and respect the rules and regulations that govern the Empire of Shine under the banner of United Blood Nation. I take this oath to be responsible, trustworthy, and militant, for I am a reflection of this hood, and in parentheses, empire. From this day forward, I will no longer think or act as an individual, because I know my actions can affect others. I take this oath and swear to be there for my brothers and sisters in a time of need and give them a sturdy shoulder to lean on, for my loyalty lies in G-Shine Empire.
So this one's a little bit different on that.
Right.
Can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury why there may be a difference between those two?
These Bibles, books of knowledge, they're handwritten most of the time or typed up like this, as you can tell. I mean, this is probably like a notepad application on a computer. And everyone, as they learn it, they write it down. And, you know, if you've ever played the game of telephone as a child, little things might change from one text to another. But for the most part, I believe it's pretty much almost the same.
Okay, going to the next message on October 24th.
Can we get from?
Quick pause right here because y'all see he got Juby name tatted on his face. That's one of the people that they are alleging he unalived. I just wanted to point that out. Sorry.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the jury stepped out. Counsel remain along with the defendant and the witnesses on the stand. Yes, counsel. Now your objection is was previously stated as you're objecting to this witness testifying wearing a mask. Based on his testimony, I overruled the objection, and now you're suggesting you want to revisit that?
Yes, sir.
So go ahead and tell me, make your argument.
May I inquire from the witness?
Sure.
Sir, are you aware that your picture went along with your family is on the internet as we sit here today?
Nope.
May I approach?
You may. Same thing you showed counsel Seibel?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
May I show you what, this is a picture and ask if that is you and your family?
Yes, sir.
And that's on your wife's Cash App,
Yes, sir.
which is available to anyone who runs that. Because we just ran it this morning.
I guess so. I did my best to keep things clean. I guess I missed that one.
We would object to him continuing to testify with his mask on based upon that as public record.
Yeah, this is nothing that this witness put on. It was something that was done by a family member that he was unaware of. So based on that, and his testimony is still truthful and accurate as to what he has done to protect his identity on that. So based on that particular item, I don't think that rises to that level.
Thank you. All right. Can you step down for a second? Just wait outside.
Yes, sir. I have a request.
Yes.
Can I strictly call my wife and make sure that she's close to everything that I might have missed?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
And then we just ask if you have to send something on to preserve that because that is something that is not out. there would be concerns for the safety of the witness on that. It's already been seen by the court and be described as such, to preserve it or anything else on that that could lead to safety issues for this witness would be very troubling.
We have no problem with that.
That's agreed. All right. So, like Jody's, the witnesses finds out from his spouse. I guess my concern is, it's always something we're trying to balance things. The news group has a right to be here and film what's going on in the courtroom. The defendant has a right of confrontation. Typically, it's face to face, but it's not hard and fast. The witness indicates there's stress on his life, and he's worried about his security of his family. And it's balancing a whole of things. So I don't know where this came from or how it was obtained. I don't know how you got a whole picture in the first place. You're saying it's on a Cash App?
So yeah, all you have to do, her phone number is listed, and when you put her in Cash App, the picture comes up.
Cash App is what?
So Cash App is similar to Zelle, Venmo, so if I want to send you money, or better yet, if you want to send me money, you have a Cash App, you send it to either my phone number or to my email, whatever I have set up. And most people do have pictures there. It is open to the public. Cash App is not with Venmo, you can actually make things private. Cash App does not, so everything you do on Cash App is in the public domain.
Yeah, it seems a little concerning and troubling if you're looking at the witness's wife and family, the intent to cause them some sort of harm or to intimidate them in any way.
Well, I resent that, first of all. We have a right to confront the accuser. They made a representation. It turns out to be incorrect. So, quite candidly, I resent any implication that we're trying to put anyone in danger. Quite to the contrary.
Hey, be in recess. When you want to step out, find out, if he's able to find out the information, to be in recess. Need a restroom break, Mr. Dennis?
Sir.
No? All right.
I know.
Mm.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record once again reflect the presence of the defendant, his counsel, assistant state attorney, solicitor on the jury, and our witness, Mr. Polo, remains on stand. Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. Okay, Detective Fuller, we left off talking about the G-Shine oath and the slight differences between them. The next message on October 24th, 2018 discusses coming up with a handle. What is a handle?
It's like a nickname, a moniker, something that you would assign yourself as your gang name, kind of like your Instagram handle or your Cash App handle.
And then is that put in again and responded as that definition for what a handle is on October 24th of 2018?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right there. Then the books would be referring to the G-Shine book, the book of membership.
Okay. Going to October 26th of 2018 on this, there is a message from Gino to the 9807 phone number. What does it say?
Asking if he's good. So, bro, you good?
Okay. Continuing on, the next message from Gino to the 9807 phone number.
In this message, Gino states, we here for you, bro. Just let us know what you need.
Okay. And in terms of the time frame on this case, are you aware of when the homicides occurred?
Yeah, I believe these messages were sent after the homicide.
Okay. So going on to October 27th of 2018.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Still on page 32. The last message on that. If you could read that one aloud.
I went through what you're going through. It hurts, but it's like when you go into the next level, the people you love die. It's so that they can protect you better from the sky.
Okay. In terms of additional messages in this, and I'm going to go forward now to page 35. There's again a reference to homies. Is that something that's commonly associated with blood or G-Shine members?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just say that's my homie or something, but in the game world, your big homie is the person that brought you in. The homies would be people within your organization. Different ways to reference that.
Okay, going forward now to page 38. There is a message 920-445-5126. Do you see that particular
Yes.
message? And who is that identified?
The Godfather
Okay.
is referencing the GF.
And so then again, to put that next to what's been previously submitted as state 69, 920-445-5126. Are those the same phone numbers?
Yeah, that's the phone number for Keith Stevens. They call him Stretch.
And could you explain where Gino would fall in the lineup under Stretch?
He's below Stretch.
Okay.
They're referring to Stretch as the Godfather, so he would be one step below the Godfather had, the person that reports straight to the council in New York, the UBN,
Okay.
United Blood Nation Council.
And then if you could explain November 28, 2018, the message that's sent from the 9807 phone number?
The 9807 number messages him, tell him that's my calling from the 772 number. So he's explaining to tell the Godfather that he's going to be the one calling from the 772 number.
And that's the area code that the 9807 phone number starts with?
Yes, 772-713-9807.
In terms of the response, and then from the 9807 again, that LMAO beloved, and then why is it significant to have the 5 instead of an S in Rise?
So I don't recall if we went over it during the description of the United Blood Nation and the Bloods. So a quick breakdown would be the United Blood Nation is the East Coast faction of the Bloods. As I said before, they were started in California on the West Coast. The East Coast, they began what's called the UBN. The UBN fell under another alliance called People Nation. And the People Nation, they came up with sign symbols and things to separate them from Folk Nation, which was an alliance of other gangs like Crips, GDs, and many other, right? So one of the signs and symbols of People Nation and the Bloods, since they try to keep these signs and symbols kind of the same, so that you don't have one group with the number 5 and the other group with the number 4 and the other group with the number 6. They all align under the 5, right? So the number 5 is significant to them. That's why they throw up the 5-point star, 5-point crown. A lot of things they use have the number 5 in it. So they'll sometimes replace, like when they replace C's with B's or X's, they'll use the number 5 to show their allegiance to the UBN and to People Nation.
So I'm going to go to December 2nd of 2018. There is a image that's here. I'm going to have to switch over to the digital version.
What page?
This is on page 39. Okay, in this particular image, were you able to identify the co-defendant, Cortland Henry?
Yes.
And where is he looking in that one photo?
Can I stand up here?
You can say that.
Let me see if I can get something to point with, Your Honor. So
It's on touchscreen, right? This time.
that's not, so. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a wireless mouse. It doesn't really work on this screen particularly well, but if you could come around this side, stay that direction, please. If you could point to Cortland Henry. Okay, so it's not working on that screen on that, so just if you keep your back. Okay. Okay, do you see the individual identified as Jamel Divins in this picture?
Subject right there.
Okay.
G-Shine.
The other individuals that are in this photo, were you able to identify them?
Yes.
And who are they?
This is Jamon Mitchell, who's in the email chain, sent through the YNW Melly booking Gmail account. This is Jaquan Burton, Q-Shine, or Herc, that's saved on the phone. This is Derek Dixon, aka Gino, saved on the 9807 phone number.
And the hand signs and symbols that are being shown, what are they indicative of?
So this hand sign right here, that's a big B for blood. This right here, G-Shine, same hand sign that Melly or Mr. Emmons is throwing out. Same hand sign he puts on his music albums and commonly uses. It's a specific hand sign just to G-Shine to the Gangster Killer Bloods. Well, this is a universal hand sign for Bloods. This is universal hand sign for Bloods. This is specific to Gangster Killer Bloods.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and scroll down further on that same page, saying 39 received.
Thank you.
So going down here on December 12th of 2018, there's a message from, again, the Gino to the 9807 phone number. If you could read that message aloud.
Are you a Ruru? I was thinking you should drop a few chains and give them to the gang. That'll show people who you connected with. It's not mandatory, just a thought.
Okay. The response,
Not everybody, of course.
is there a like dues or tithing that's required as for membership in a criminal gang?
Yeah, as described in the oath and many times throughout the Bible, it's not about the individual, it's about the collective. The mere fact that he wasn't even communicating with Gino and with his lineup enough, that was enough for them to say, you're not doing enough for us. And now, to step further, which, we need to be brought to these shows, and you should buy this some jewelry, because that jewelry's not cheap.
Okay, so then the next message from December 12th says you're in the position to be a young Don. What is a young Don?
Higher up, captain.
Okay. Is that one of the ranks?
They didn't reference that name as in their Bible as what they call their ranks. So I think it's just like a term related to the mafia, Don.
Okay. And the response from the 9807 phone number is?
Let's do it.
Okay. Then Gino continues on in the next message on 12/12/2018, still on page 40. In that message that's up there, is there other terms and things that you see that would be indicative of G-Shine or Gangster Killer Bloods?
Yes, so I'll read it and then I'll go through it. Bet that, sorry, but seriously, I want you to really think about the power you possess, little brother. I'm just here to show you how to use it. So the first thing is Gino is addressing the 9807 number as Ascari, which is rank. It's not like saying blood or homie or any of the other, or Herc or Twin. He's specifically calling him Ascari. It would be like calling him general if he was in one of the first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor general spots, or Godfather, something to that effect. He's saying Ascari, you are an Ascari. And you know that based off his email, where he has a document that says you have now ascended to the position of Ascari. So this reaffirms that. And then Gino explains, I want you to think about the power you possess. And that power comes from, in my opinion, from what I've read through all these messages, the power is money. Money is power in a game. And not only is money power, but fear, intimidation,
Objection.
is power.
Sustained.
Okay, so going on,
Strike.
If you're disregarded last comment, stricken.
moving on to the next page 42 at the very top. If you could read that message aloud.
Once the family gets a real glimpse of how you rock with me, it's all access granted. Be like a young Nicky Scarfo,
Who is Nikki Scarfo?
Philly mob boss, very powerful mafia boss in Philadelphia.
Okay. So then there's other messages, December 23rd, 2018, where Gino is asking for something. Can you read that one aloud, please?
The things I ask you to do don't even cost money. Shake my head. SMH.
Okay. With response, then December 23rd, there's a message about at 8:18 a.m. If you could read that one.
No more shows for you and that N-word. Track being his manager. Mr. Dennis, manager. I'm putting bubblegum in his hair, yin yang twin looking ass.
Okay. The next request, if you could read that one aloud.
The Godfather wants to know if we can be an R&B group.
Is there anything based on your training and experience that you can say about that particular message?
In these organizations, the higher ups usually call shots, although the guys on the bottom of the totem pole might be doing their own thing, either, whatever hustle they decide to choose. They have some autonomy, but at a certain point, if you get directions from your higher ups, you kind of have to start listening to them. You wouldn't just be able to act reckless and do whatever you want. So you would get some kind of direction, especially if it's for the benefit of the organization and benefit of the game.
Okay, moving on from page 43 on to 44. At 12:26, the Rue, I need to skyline with you. What does that mean?
I need to talk to you and to meet up with you.
Okay. And then the next message, 44. The next message on page 44.
I'm here to help you, but I refuse to not be helped back. Takes a seat out. In all actuality, you don't fuck with me or with the set. I'm beefing with N-words in Florida, and I don't even know. Shake my head. Why are you even around?
And if you can remind the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what does it mean to be false flagging?
False flagging is claiming something that you're not. So saying you're blood when you're not blood, or saying you're blood and you are blood, you're just not acting like a blood. Not holding to your values or your oath as a blood.
Okay, going to page 47 at the very bottom. What is being asked of the 9807 number at this point?
Post me for my belated birthday, Herc. I'm only asking because I got hella hoes last time you posted me. He's asking 9807 number to post him on social media because it got him a lot of females last time he did that. So he's clout chasing.
Okay. And can you explain what clout chasing is?
Trying to get popular, famous, get a lot of views, become famous using social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any platform, TikTok, Twitch. These gang members are on all these platforms. Regular people are on all these platforms. Everyone's, like I said, the era of social media. Everyone's trying to make money on social media, and he's trying to get females.
Okay, so on January 26th of 2019, there's another message that has some unfamiliar words. If you could read that and translate it.
On another note, one of them, Pyru N-words, reached out to me saying something about some shit.
And could you explain what Pyru is?
Pyru, I discussed that when we were talking about the original West Coast Bloods, Pyru Boys, Pyru Street Boys. They were a gang that originated in the West Coast. Now there's East Coast Pyrus. And Pyrus are a different set of Bloods. They don't fall under G-Shine. G-Shine is its own thing. They don't fall under the UBN. They're their own thing. Pyrus are West Coast Bloods, and there's a big difference between West Coast Bloods and East Coast Bloods. They don't respect each other. Might work with each other sometimes, show a little reverence toward each other because they're all blood. But as of right now, I know for sure there is a disconnect between West Coast Bloods and East Coast Bloods. There's not much respect.
Okay, going on January 27th, 2019, still on page 48 at the bottom, what messages is Gino sending to the 9807 phone number?
The top message of the bottom,
Start with the top one.
top one, okay. It was quite a lot, accusing you of something that you're punishable by death, also stating that Shine Family is nothing more than a chess game in the palm of Lord Four's hand. I myself found that I'm using the reach of the G-Shine hand is far-reaching, but being that you are really Shine, that's something you are not gonna have to witness. For mothers and kids are not off limits on disrespecting Shine in all capitals.
Okay, in terms of the little fours hand, what is that?
He's talking about Pyrus.
Is that the fours and the fives you were explaining earlier?
Yeah, it might, that's probably specific to that Pyru set. Could be what's like certain, say like there's like a set of rolling bloods, right? That's like rolling 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. So these Pyrus, it's apparent from messages, something about their set aligns with another four. It's probably a street.
Okay. So going on to page 50, January 27th, 2019, the first message to the 9807 phone number from the Gino contact. What does that say?
Stretch got a date set up for us to pull up so we can have a face-to-face. Whoever don't show, getting kicked out the whip.
What is the whip?
the whip is the lineup. That's one of the things they call it. So you call them the whip, a lineup. In the Bible, they call it the temple or the districts. The whip would be specific here in this message because it's Stretch calling it would be specific to the G-Shine set that the 9807 number belongs to.
Okay. So going on to page 51. Is there another reference to those chains that we just previously talked about?
Yeah, they continue to ask. He said, what happens with the chains?
And the response from the 9807 on page 52 as to the chains.
All that's coming, you see, is replaced with K, big bro. Be patient, I'm fresh out. I'm gonna have everything handled. Ain't seen my mama yet. I'm only one man.
Okay. So going back to on to page 53, the message from the Gino contact reads what?
Hey, for real though, I need to borrow 10 bands. I'll give you 15 back.
And the next line,
If I don't pay you back, you can have my stain and my life.
is a band?
Bands, $10,000 or $1,000.
Okay,
One band is $1,000, 10 bands, $10,000.
okay. And the next line about having stain, what does that refer to?
That's a slang term used for for their like the rank. If you say I'm going to give you my stain, I'm giving you my rank, he's saying if I don't pay you back, you can have my rank. So obviously, the person speaking to the 9807 number is about Ascari, which we determine the 9807 number is being spoken to as he's in Ascari.
Okay. Going to January 31st of 2019 on page 55. Does Gino at this relate his life story to the 9807 phone number?
Yes.
Okay. There's also an attachment of some sort of song on that from Gino.
Yes, Gino was an aspiring rapper as well. Sends the 9807 number sends a song to that 9807 number. At some point, Gino changes his Instagram handle to YNW Gino Shine instead of Gino Shine. YNW being the YNW collective that Mr. Demings was a part of.
Okay, going on to
What
February,
page was this? I'm sorry.
that was 55, moving on to 56. At the top of page 56, there is a message. If you could read that and then translate it, please.
I believe that you are a man of your word, the Godfather behind the wall. So the Godfather in prison, not the Godfather on the outside, which is Stretch. Godfather behind the wall trying to put you on a plate, saying you use and shine for your image. So I told him, that's a dub. You're signing me in March, and I hope for our sake, you're not flagging at this point. It's critical. So he is giving a warning / threat that if, first off, the Godfather behind the wall, Godfather in prison, so one of the more powerful ranks, he's thinking about putting the 9807 number on the plate, which, if you guys recall, that means he's going to be labeled for death. If any other blood member sees him, doesn't matter what rank or set, they're to kill this person. And then the accusation is that the 9807 number is using G-Shine for their own personal image and not for the collective, which has been a topic on this several times. And Gino responds, or continues and says that he vouched for him basically and told the Godfather that he's not just using G-Shine for his self-image because the 9807 number has promised to sign Gino. And he says, I hope you're not flagging, I hope you're not lying, because it's critical at this point. Because once the Godfather's thinking about putting you on a plate, making food, green lighting you, whatever you want to call it, there's no going back from that.
Okay, in terms of at the end of this page, there's this last message, February 10th of 2019. And so the names in this, Kodak, do you know who they're referring to?
Probably Kodak Black,
Okay,
rapper.
and Boosie?
Boosie's another rapper.
Okay, and Quando? Sorry.
Quando's, he's a rapper, he's saying he's going to sign him.
Okay, so is this something that G-Shine is involved in as part of their regular business in the music industry?
Most gangs try to get rappers in their organization for the money and clout, and it just helps with their image. It helps promote the game.
So moving on to the conversation with the contact that's labeled PERK ending in 1322. If you can, you said this Q-Shine? Have you
Yeah.
identified Q-Shine in that photo previously?
Yeah, Jaquan Burton, the Tall, he was a tall male in a red outfit. He was also throwing up the G-Shine hand sign, that one.
Okay. And so these messages start on page 58 for defense counsel, going on to 59. I want to go down here to the messages from the 9807 number to this new contact Kirk on September 13th of 2018, the one in the middle. If you could just read that out loud.
Now, me and Bra fought. Well, I fought young boy. He fought my brother Sack.
Moving on to the next message here. You had mentioned the term crab before. If you could remind ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what does that mean?
Crab's a derogatory term for anyone who falls under the Crip gang.
Okay. And so if you could read the September 13th, 2018, 10:07 p.m. message.
It says, he said he gonna kill us, shine N-words, when he catch us. Well, me and you, LOL. I told that crab ass N-word, if he touched any of my herks, it's over for him. So he's, if you notice, he crosses out most of the C's, but not all of them. Yeah, most of the C's. He puts a CK, Crip killer. So that's the only time you'll see a C, unless they just forget to cross it out like in cash. When they put CK, that's something that is typically graffiti, CK, Crip killer. When they'll do that on the roads where the Crips are predominant.
Okay, and then going on to page 60. This particular message at the top, actually the second one down, on September 14th of 2018. If you could read that one aloud.
Say, bro, wait, you want to meet up tomorrow before the show? With 5.
And the response from the 9807 number.
Slap, Herc.
Is there anything particular about those two terms?
Well, Herc is that same term of endearment, basically, that's used between members of G-Shine, and Slap is common blood, kind of like a calling or saying. They see Slap, they see a couple other things. That's one of them.
Okay. And in terms of continuing through page 61, what are the discussions about this particular venue? If you could read that one aloud.
Y001, I don't mean to keep hitting you up, bro, but what time do you want me to come see up there? I don't know the place or time it starts. Also took out the seat on place.
Okay, and then the responses are,
I'm getting ready now, Herc, most likely around 1 a.m.
okay. And then the questions that are sent back.
Where is it located? Again, with the CK Herc killer.
Okay. And then it talks about the venue.
Yeah, he's asking about a venue. Where are they going to be? Where's the location?
Okay. Going on to September 15th, what does this message say?
Subject Herc or Jaquan Burton says, but I got them sticks with me, so you know we're going to be 050. We're going to be good.
And what in our sticks? Did you determine that in your training experience?
Sticks are rifles or shotguns, any long gun, other than hand, something that's not a handgun.
Okay, so continuing on September 15th, some of the responses from the 9807 number.
9807 number responds, yes, sir. Always us, Herc. He uses 5 instead of yeses. Like I said, yeses. The reason they replace yeses with 5s is because Crips, derogatory term for blood, is a slog. Slog starts with an S. So to avoid using yeses, I'll put some 5s in there. And then he says, no problem. Got to look out for my Shine brothers. It's one of the 8 rules. And he references back to the G-Shine rules.
Okay. In terms of the location and the address that's on there, have you searched the phone for the location address on this particular incident
I
on
did.
September 15th?
I did at the time, but I can't call right now.
Was it consistent, or I wouldn't say consistent, but was it also in the Jacksonville area as reflected in the message above?
Yes, I do recall that.
And that was on page 64 for defense counsel. Going on to page 66, September 16th of 2018. What message is coming in from the individual labeled as Herc?
That same G-Shine saying, I shine, you shine, we shine, G-Shine. What's your email so I can low ride you the knowledge, low ride you, send you, communicate with you the knowledge being the Bibles, the books of knowledge.
Okay, and on September 16th of 2018, what email address does the 9807 send out as the email address to send it to?
YNW Melly booking at gmail.com, same email that the G-Shine books of knowledge were recovered from.
I want to go to now page 68. And this is going to switch over to the digital version again on September 21st, 2018 at 12:06 a.m. What is the email address that is sent?
burtonjaquan@gmail.com.
What page are we on? You're losing.
My apologies, Mr. Howard.
I'm sorry.
We are on, I believe, 66. $68 now. Okay, so to go back to the digital version, to go to page 68, so pull up that photo. Who is identified in this picture?
Mr. Demons throwing up the gangster killer's left hand sign. The other subject is, we call it Jaquan Burton, and he's throwing up the same gangster killer's left hand sign.
Okay. And if you could identify them by an article of clothing as to who is who.
You're right, they're both doing the same hand sign. Mr. Demons is wearing the colorful trench coat, and Mr. Burns is wearing the white t-shirt, black pants with the Swisher Sweets in his pocket, and the red bandana poking off the right.
So we can zoom in on that. This is the red bandana you're talking about? I just switch sweets?
Usually in the back pocket.
Okay. Continuing now on page 68, then on to page 69. There's again that same number for the Godfather that we previously discussed.
It's a different number.
And is there other instances in which,
That's the number. Oh yeah, it's a different number.
are there other instances in which it says the Godfather's working more than one phone?
Objection.
Well, right here.
Objection.
I'm sorry,
I apologize.
I didn't hear the.
Objection, she's asking the witness whether there are other instances.
Thanks for saying, rephrase your question.
We'll come back to that on that specific message. Okay. Going forward now, on September 27th, 2018, what message comes from the 9807 number to the individual saved as Herc?
What page are you on?
Page 71.
Herc, I feel you, but y'all try this rap shit one time. I don't even have time for my mama. I've been doing radio runs all week. Shit's tiring as fuck.
And so the response from the Herc phone number on, again, page 71 at 2:16 a.m. on September 27th.
Bro, I totally understand. We're rocking with you 110%. Trust me, Herc, I'll give my life for my R's, but we gotta communicate more. Ain't nothing personal. We all had to go through from Stretch to me to Gino, but this is how things are going from now, Herc.
Okay. And then the next message.
At the end of the day, we still don't know you. We don't know what your motives are, basically. I just gotta learn you a little more, bro. I seen people get whacked for bringing the wrong people around. I'm not trying to go through that. You are going about it the right way. Gino and the Godfather are like brothers, for real. By dealing with us, you will be closer to a lot of pros and access to whatever.
In terms of the people getting whacked, what does that refer to?
People getting killed.
In any of the messages that we've gone through up to this point, is there any communication with Sack Chaser or Anthony Williams?
No.
Is there any communication with Christopher Thomas, also known as Juvie, in any of these messages?
No.
Okay. Continuing on September 27th of 2018, that's the first, you'd mentioned twin earlier. And is that something that you've seen a lot in these messages?
Yeah, it's another term used by members of G-Shine. They'll call each other twin.
Okay, and that was in response to the message here, September 27th, 2018. If you could read that one again.
I shine, you shine, we shine, G-Shine. Just doing my rounds, checking up on everyone. I wasn't trying to be hard on you last night, bro. We fam. We just gotta learn each other more. So Herc is explaining that he's just doing his job to check up on all his other bloods, all his other members. And he's just trying to get to know the 9807 number.
Okay. So that was on page 72 for defense counsel. Moving on to September 28th of 2018. Can you read that message and then translate it?
Shake my head. Fools giving false info saying he Inglewood and shit. Y'all gonna do a mixtape. That'll be a good look for you, Herc.
Okay. And I'm going to go above that. On September 28th of 2018, there's a question that's asked, and what is that?
Yo, beloved, what set is Young Thug pushing now? Young Thug the rapper who just got indicted.
And so it says the response from the 9807 number.
Still the same set. Murder. Murder, not the crime. Murder, sex, money, murder. One of the UBN, United Blood Nation blood sets.
Okay. And then the response as to the fifth floor. What does that mean?
Fifth floor is referring to the ranking system, as I described previously. If you call them a fifth floor, call them a five-star general, it depends on what the set wants to use as their title. But it's consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, low, high, Godfather, Godfather head.
Okay, so then on October 3rd of 2018, there's a message from the contact saved as Herc. And what does it say?
What page you on?
76. What is that?
It says bark at me, bro. The reason bark is important is when the UBN was created, United Blood Nation was created, one of the signs and symbols that they use is to differentiate each other within the prison system was a tattoo or a burn mark. And it was 3 dots on the right shoulder in the shape of a dog paw. So we call it dog paw. So bark at me would be just another way of them incorporating their blood symbology into their language.
Okay, and so then what contact information does the 9807 number give on October 3rd of 2018?
YNW Melly booking at gmail.com.
Okay. Now there is October 4th of 2018. If you could read on page 77 at 6:01 p.m. That one that starts with "Please hit me back."
Please hit me back, Herc. N-words, set dripping, shine sap.
And if you could translate that, please.
So he's telling the 9807 number to please call him back. Takes out the snippets next. And then he's talking about other G-Shine members who are set tripping. Set tripping meaning not following the rules or just not acting in accordance with how you should be acting as a member of G-Shine or as a member of Blood. He says, call me back shine sap instead of right back or ASAP, something like that. He incorporates G-Shine into the language.
Okay, so then continuing on October 9th, there's a message that is sent to the 9807 number.
Yeah, just doing my rounds, Herc, checking up on everything. You got to communicate, bro. That's the number one rule of being Herc. You can get dubbed out for it.
And what does it mean to be dubbed out?
Kicked out.
Okay, going on to the next message on October 10th, 2018, 11:55 a.m.
Godfather asked me about you. You need to call Gino. Gino's behind Shine Sap. So he's saying Godfather asked about him, and he's telling him he needs to call that the 9807 number, he needs to call Gino. He's ready to call your ball, get off the seat. And he's saying, call him idiot, call me Shine Sap.
Okay, and then the next message, which is sent October 10th, 2018 at 1:40 p.m., but read October 23rd of 2018. What is the message about a head count?
So we're doing a head count. Let us know if you were still in, bro. If not, speak up. He's checking in on the 9807 number, making sure, trying to get confirmation whether this person is still trying to move up in the ranks, trying to be a member of G-Shine.
Okay, so moving to October 13th of 2018, what's the next message that goes from Perk to the 9807 number?
Yo, bro, I know you're busy. Sorry. Yo, bro, what's good? I know you be busy and shit, but are you fucking with us still? We need to know if, I got this. You trying to get your name in the GKB history book and give you your stain, your rank. You still like our little bro, whatever it is, you can bark, talk to us. Or me, anytime. I got mad love for you, bro. Like I told you before, I'll kill any N-word or die for you, Herc. That's how much love we got for you. We would have been this same way on you if you wasn't famous. Bro, trust me, just bark at me like a man. No lost love, SL, shine love. Forever shine, bright shine, shine bright.
Okay. The response going on to page 79, is sent October 23rd, 2018, 10:39. And is that the first time that the 9807 number responds to those other messages?
Yeah, it appears that was the first response.
Okay. Going right above that, on October 16th of 2018 at 9:07 p.m. Could you read this message aloud, please?
Talk to me like a man, bro. We're supposed to be blooders, not brothers, but blooders. Just let me know what's going on, that's all. So again, using blood terminology in his language, that is just more evidence of the association or membership to the Blood Nation.
Okay, going on to the next message, October 26th, 2018, 12:42 p.m., and this is still on page 79. And I'll switch over to the digital version to make the photo bigger. Is this the picture that was sent in the text messages?
Yeah, that's the same picture.
And in these three individuals, do you recognize them?
Yes.
And who are they?
The subject in the middle is Janelle Timmons, wearing the colorful outfit. Subject to the left, well, it's not.
Well, let's go by color. So
Okay, the green shirt is Judy, that's Christopher Thomas, and the red shirt is Anthony Williams, Zach Cheese.
And the message associated with that said,
Yo, is this true?
the next message from Kirk on October 26th of 2018 that reads as what follows. If you could please publish that for the jury on October 26th, 5:27 p.m. Again, page 79. If this comes up.
So the message from her at 5:27 p.m. on October 26th says, "Damn bro, I'm sorry, you can get closer. Damn bro, I'm sorry for your loss. I know shit's hard right now for you right now, but keep your head up. I wish I could have been there to guide you. If it's anything you need, bro, let me know. Don't hesitate to bark at me. Love you, bro, 110%. He was offering his guidance in reference to what had occurred.
Okay. Going on to page 81. October 29th of 2018. Can you read those two messages and publish them for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
We just gotta watch how we bark at each other, that's all. Just talk normal, hit me back, as we say. We just gotta be careful the way we talk to each other, and that's all, just to talk to him normally. Just giving him a word of caution, giving him some guidance.
And so then the next response from the number ending in 1322 labeled as her.
You wanna ask you about some music, if that's cool. Cool.
And does the October 29th at 9:55 p.m. is that same email address that you previously mentioned, burtonjaquan@gmail.com mentioned?
Yes, same email, same subject.
And that's on the bottom of page 82 now, going to the response from the 9807 number. What does that read?
Yeah, but I'm on my way to a show, Shine Love, SL.
Going to November 8th of 2018.
Can we take a heat break or warm break?
Thank you. We'll take short recess. Ladies and gentlemen, do not discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the case, don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence, or research, and keep notes right here. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Please be seated. Let the record once again reflect the presence of the defendant, damage and counsel, the assistant state attorney, as well as ladies and gentlemen, jury. poll remains on stand. Ladies and gentlemen, we broke, the statement still under direct examination of the witness. Counsel, if you would, please continue.
Okay, so we left off and we've gone to now page 83, November 4th of 2018, 1:50 a.m. And if the focus button made it a little easier, what does this particular message say?
Good show, Herc. You had me turn, be safe on the road, on that road to full South Florida. Or sorry, South Florida, so sorry. Shine love.
Okay. Continuing on, there's a message on November 8th, again, still on page 83 for defense counsel. That is at 12:58 p.m. If you could read that one, please.
Moreless, Eastside, bang and blood. I be that true and living, blank. Standed and grounded with devotion, overstanding and loyalty for cause of Ola. Repping that Shine family, because real riders don't switch. Therefore, it's platinum gold, gold platinum, 001, G's up. Even when my mind, body, and soul departs, forever expanding the mind, highline. Black.
Okay. So continuing on to page 84, there's a discussion about add me back. Do you know what that refers to?
In this context, I think he's probably talking about social media.
Continuing on to November 18th of 2018. Can you read this text message and then translate it?
Why this N-word goon going around telling the homies you want to play because you name up under Gino? I'm a Peter roll that fool on the hood.
And if you could explain what this means.
So goon was the, I believe we talked about it early on. Jamel Demmons was being recruited by two different G-Shine sets, two different lineups, whips, whatever you want to call it. One of them was under goon, and that's the one that Jay Green belongs to. The other set was the one being run by Gino and Herc, all the way up to the Godfather stretch. So Mr. Demmons, or I apologize, when the 9807 phone number decided to go with Gino, Herc, and Stretch, it caused issues with Goon because that second lineup, that second G-Shine set was not chosen, and that caused issues because they wanted to recruit him first.
Okay, so what is the Peter role, that fool?
It's a slang. He's just saying he's basically run through him, beat him up, hurt him, whatever. Could have anything at that point.
Okay, so on November 19th of 2018 on page 85, the message that's sent from the 1322 Herc phone number. Yes, what does that one say?
Yo, I sent you a beat. Tell me what you think about it. I was hoping you can put a hook on if you like that one instead. If you like that one instead, let me know what you think.
Can you explain what a beat is?
Soundtrack to a song, the music in the background, no audio, no vocals, just the beat, the music.
Okay, and what is a hook?
A hook would be when a rapper or any musician just jumps on a song and does a short verse on the song. So the main artist creates either, takes a beat, creates a song, and then they'll pay someone for a hook or for a verse in a song. It's very popular with in the rap community. Everyone does it.
So talking about now on page 86, November 21st, 2018. What message is that sent to the 9807 number?
This one right here.
The top one, yes.
Yeah. You got two shows Saturday, bro? Question.
Okay.
Yo, hit me up. Oh, sorry, I thought you wanted
Sorry,
this.
yes, please.
Yo, hit me up, Shine Set, bro. I gotta ask you something.
Okay, and then continuing on to the 24th.
I'm gonna ball you when I get there. And he's not talking about a ball. He's just replacing the C call.
Okay. Now the 9807 number on November 24th of 2018 sends some text messages. If you could read the one in the middle right there.
Can I see the one above it?
Sure.
Okay. So then, this one's related to top here. Drums and 22 clips, and 33 clips.
And what are those?
Drums would be referring to drum magazines for firearms. A drum magazine is a magazine, if you don't know what a magazine is. A gun has, sometimes people call it clips. A clip is not a magazine, but that's what a lot of people call it. It's where the bullets are contained within the gun. You put the bullets into the magazine and then stick that in your gun. So they come in regular size magazines, or like a gun comes with a standard magazine, like a Glock, most Glocks with a 17 round magazine or 15 round magazine, depending on the size of the bullet. Here he's requesting drums and 22 clips. So a drum mag is usually 50 rounds. 22 clip would be something that holds at least 22 rounds, and a 33 clip would be something that holds at least 33 rounds.
Okay, then on November 24th, the response from Herc is DL. What did you translate that to again?
I hear you.
Okay.
Just kind of means like, okay,
Continuing on in terms of the items that are discussed here, if you could just read them out. I'll start at the top.
looks like a wish list to me, or in order.
Okay.
2 9mm 30 clips. So again, clips being magazines. It's asking for a 30 round magazine. 1 9mm 22 magazine clip. 2 clear 40 cal drums. So 2 drums, 2 drum magazines, the ones that are round that hold at least 50 rounds. Sometimes they make them that hold 100 or 150 rounds. And he wants it chambered, or the 9807 number wants it chambered in 40 caliber.
Okay.
And then 1 clear 9mm drum, same thing. A drum magazine for 9mm round caliber rounds, and the clear kind. So some of these drum mags are black, you can't see through them. Some of them for showmanship or just because they look cooler, get it clear, and then you can see all the bullets inside. It's just a preference thing, I guess.
Okay, and technical, you don't know if these were used for a video shoot or anything like that. You can't give any comment on that.
No, it just looks like a list of
Okay.
magazines that they're requesting for those 2 types of calibers, 9s and 40s.
Okay. And then the list continues on November 24th at 3:10 p.m.
Yeah, so this does refer to actual bullets. Get some hollows too, misspelled hollows. Hollows are hollow point bullets, as opposed to like ball round, which is just like what we would use for target practice. A hollow point bullet has rivets in it, and when it makes impact, it kind of disintegrates and it becomes many projectiles. Kind of just spreads apart.
Okay.
Spreads apart, so it's kind of looks like that, and then it'll
Moving on to
disintegrate.
page 89. What is shown in the message from Herc on November 24th of 2018?
Herc states, I got a customized Glock 17 for sale if you wanted to. A Glock 17 is a model of a Glock handgun. It's chambered in 9mm.
And then there are pictures that are shown of that same.
Yes.
Okay, I want to go forward now on November 28th, 2018 at page 93. The first 2 messages there, if you could read those.
Bet it up, shine. Right. Sorry. Bet it up, shine right, shine bright, shine love, bro. They capitalize B for blood, capitalize the O for Ola, which is, according to the Bible, Swahili for blood, but I don't think it really is. I'm trying looking it up.
Okay. So then on the next message,
Fake rocking, we don't roll like that. Fake rocking would be the same thing as fake false flagging or set tripping. It's just basically saying, if you are going to say you're one of us, you're really going to be one of us. You can't just pretend. You have to follow the rules. So we don't roll that way. We're straight up with each other, and we're going to die about this G-Shine family. So this is not just a club, an organization. This isn't the Boy Scouts. This is an organization that they're willing to die about. He's saying, I'm just saying this so you hear me and so you know what's up.
okay. And in terms of the response about the communication, in terms of that, I'm going to go to the 9807 number, responds as what?
Bro, why really just be beefing? That's what I type it there.
Okay. And then the response from 1322 Herc.
Of course, we're not beefing, bro, but you got to do better on your communication with your 5-dub. That's part of getting your state together. So you tell them there's no beef, there's no problem, but you need to communicate better with us. This is a common theme. He needs to communicate better with his G-Shine members, and he mentions it in there.
Okay, and the response from the 9807 number?
Herc, and the N-word be dead busy. It's just referring to him as a Herc. He's acknowledging he's G-Shine, and he's saying that he's just been too busy to communicate back. Flight to flight, don't even see my mama text on God. So he's saying that he's so busy he can't even text his mother.
Okay, and then to continue on page 94 still, the response from Herc to that busy text.
Yeah.
Say it's possible, sorry.
He says, I smell that, bro. I understand you. I feel you. Same thing. I smell that, bro. But this G-Shine family shit is, he uses double R's, real right. We talked about that. Right? So that means we're not a fake, unsanctioned set. Not a fake set. I won't call them fake. They're not, he's saying we're a real set. We're aligned with a national sanctioned set. So the real right mob, regardless of mob being members of blood, regardless of how busy we all get, we always got to make sure we find time to check up on the bros. Even trouble. Do it, bro. And he's a big artist like you. It's nothing personal, and we're not saying we want all your time. Just text and let us know you could. That's all, bro. You say we your brothers, but you be showing us different, and we really got to be real. Love for you, Herc, 110%.
So then moving on again to the digital version on December 7th of 2018. What is the text that accompanies this video?
I believe this was a screen recording of a conversation between Goon and Janelle Demons, if I remember this video correctly.
So to go to.
Goon being the same subject, I was recruiting Mr. Demons into the other set.
Hey. Hey, who you want with?
Your Honor, objection.
Excuse me, come stop real quick.
Yeah, he extra mad that Melly won't text him back, and I'm questioning if what he's saying is even true in these messages, because to me, you want him to lean you 10 bands, you want him to post you so you can get clout. Like, it's just really giving like you was trying to get on and you just saying anything. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? I can't say if Melly was reading through what he was saying or not, but it just really fake to me. Like, it don't. It ain't. Yeah.
The name of the contact on this, what does it read as?
You want to say now?
Yes.
So, Melly's bitch ass. With, I think it says smiling, laughing face. With the
Hey. Hey, who you want with? Who you want with? You want who? Yeah, sounds good. Now listen, send him my number. Yeah, my big homie wanna holler, send him my number. Ain't no talking, but you trying to meet this show so I can beat your ass, shit. You ain't send me no address yet.
Excuse me.
Alright, send him over.
Thank you. I'm sorry. What's the objection?
What's the relevance? Why are we listening to this?
So, Detective, in terms of the voices that you hear on this, during the course of this investigation, did you have the opportunity to become familiar with the defendant, Jamel Denon's voice?
Yes.
And could you describe for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury approximately how many hours of video and audio that you watched of the defendant over the course of this investigation?
And I probably listened to almost every single one of his songs, music videos. I watched interviews he did, listened to jail calls, and the difficult part in the jail calls was
Objection.
Sustained.
So
That's for
nothing,
curative instruction.
Why don't you come sideboard?
Crap, I missed what he said. Damn. Malik, you got your reading come out and missed what he said. I'm gonna run it back just a quick second to see how he answered that question on and why we gotta. Well, he's gonna give a curative, so it should be.
False emanated from, I sustain that objection. I'm going to ask counsel to rephrase your question.
in terms of Detective Polo, were you given phone calls review in which the defendant was identified as a participant?
Yeah.
And in terms of the number of hours of those calls that you listened to?
over 30 hours maybe.
With regards to your familiarity with the defendant's voice, are you able to say who is on the phone that is being recorded?
Well, the unknown subject holding the phone, no, the person on the other line of that iPhone looks correct iPhone. That sounds like Mr. Dennis.
So you're on that, I'm going to go ahead and publish again what's been already in evidence as part of State 70, and this is image.
Objection, calls for hearsay.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Objection's overruled. Proceed.
And it's image _0747.MOV for the record.
Hey. Hey, who you want with? Who you want with? You want with who? Yeah, sounds good. Now listen, send him my number. Yeah, my big homie wanna holler, send him my number. Ain't no talking, but you trying to meet yourself so I can beat your ass, shit. You ain't send me no address yet. Alright, say no more.
Okay, so going back now to the printed document, we're going to go to page 97 for defense counsel. Detective, were you able to determine in what state the individual that the 404 area code was from?
The one we identified from the 9807 form,
Yes.
that was Georgia.
That was
Georgia.
Okay. And Detective, going to page 97, the 12/20/2018, 2:32 a.m. from the 1322 phone number that begins with 404. What does that message say?
It says, we back in the meeting waiting on you.
Okay, and then continuing on to the next message.
Hey, Melvin, how long you gonna be in Atlanta?
And where is Atlanta located?
Georgia.
Moving on to the bottom of page 97. You could publish that last message on there.
I got somebody that want to book you for a show. Hurt bus at me.
Okay. Going on to now page 102 for defense counsel. The individual identified as Goon, the phone number ending in 9277. You reviewed these messages as well?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned that there's two sets that were trying to recruit the defendant.
Yes. From the messages on the phone, it was clear that two different G-Shine sets were trying to recruit Mr. Dennis.
And is Goon in the same set or lineup as Gino, Stretch, and the Herc messages we just went through?
Not based off the context from all the messages I read.
Okay. And in terms of the first message from the 813-451-9277 phone number, what is Goon saying? And that's the name that the contact was given.
Yeah, Goon was again identified as Isaiah Everhart. He was identified as a documented G-Shine gang member. He says, yo, twin, you don't have any of the recent Englewood being the knowledge or the books of knowledge, Bibles. I am trying to find out how much you need.
Okay. And the response from the 9807 phone number is?
Yeah, I had some 5. He's referring to the knowledge.
Okay. And then the response from Goon?
out of date shit or you up and bopping. And if you recall, in 2016, I mentioned in 2016, the G-Shine Bible, or the Book of Knowledge was rewritten. He called it God Knows Best, the Rebirth.
Okay. And if you could go through now September 2nd, 2018, the next message that's on there, and read it and then translate it.
Yo, twin, just letting you know, bro, I poured the big fool a drink on what's shaking with you, and that you're gonna line up with us just so he was in tune with the play and everything is everything, beloved. He told me to blowfish you his 9, so you got it for whatever reason. He is well known in death row. If an N-word don't know my handle, they definitely gonna know his, you feel me? And N-words know him on the music shit too. He a producer, he did records for Young Thug, French Montana, Jules Santana, a bunch of others. That's
Sorry.
bunch of other people. So if you ever need that, he get busy with the beats too. I need your email where you want me to blowfish you some updated Inglewood. I'll break it down piece by piece. Yo, twin, again, that's G-Shine slang, just like bro, you just letting you know that I poured the big fool a drink. The big fool, that would be their godfather, their boss, right? It's just slang. He poured him a drink on what's shaking. I told him, basically, he informed him of what's happening with the 9807 number. And that he tells the big fool that the 9807 number is going to line up. So he's going to join their set. So that way he was in tune with the play, right? So that he knows everything is everything. And the 9807 number was choosing them as the lineup that he wanted to be a part of. So he states, the big fool, so the boss, told me to blowfish you his 9. Blowfish just means send him your, send, like to send, right? The act of sending, to send him his 9 digits, his phone number. So send you his 9 digits so you have it for whatever reason you might need it. He says he's well known on death row, and he explains to him, basically the synopsis right here, he just explains to him that he's in the music industry and he knows a lot of guys like Young Thug, who's a blood, French Montana, well, I'm not sure of his affiliations, Jules Santana, who is a blood, and a bunch of other people. But these are all rappers. So he's trying to sell his set, his G-Shine set, as a good set to be a part of because their boss is in the music industry and already knows a couple of their well-known rappers who have an affiliate with blood. It says, I need your email so I can send you the updated Inglewood. The Inglewood being the knowledge, books of knowledge, the Bibles.
Okay, so continuing on, the response from the 9807 number is?
That twin, feed me. Feed me means send me the knowledge he has to learn.
Okay. Then the response from the 9277 goon number?
Says I got you.
Okay. The 9807 response?
What's his 9? What's his phone number?
And then is the phone number sent? Is the next message?
631-260-5797.
Okay. Going to the September 2nd on page 104, September 2nd of 2018, 2:21 p.m. This particular message. If you could publish that one.
So on September 2nd at 2:21, this message is sent from Boom. You're walking with me now, so I got to make sure you on your shit because you're a reflection of me and him. So he's telling him, because you are under me and I'm under him, the Godfather, the big fool, then you need to make sure that you're on point, you know what you're doing, you know your stuff, because you're a reflection of us. And from the previous conversations, if one person messes up underneath you and you're the one that brought him home, the repercussions might affect the guys above that brought him in.
So you said bringing someone home. What does that mean?
Bringing someone home is it's gang terminology. Sorry for that. It's basically just bringing them into the gang. I would say I brought them home. And that's just very common slang for them to use.
Okay. So one of the responses from the 9807 number on September 2nd, 2018, what does that say?
Lingo brazy. So he's saying that the lingo, the language that they're using is crazy.
Okay. And does the 9807 number provide an email to receive the knowledge of?
Yes, the same YNW Melly booking at gmail.com from the previous threads.
Okay. And some of the other responses he uses on September 7th, 2018, 2:54 p.m., page 105 council.
The 9807 number messages blood.
Okay. The other email that is provided from the individual named as Boone, what is that?
elevationmp2@gmail.com.
And then the next message on September 7th of 2018.
Sent the last memo, just wanted to make sure you get it.
And the response from the 9807 number.
Gonna view it now, so he's gonna view it now.
And then from 9277 in response to that.
Same thing as before, when you write DL, down low, I hear you.
Okay. Next message from the 9807.
Got it, 5. That's a comment for them to call each other, other than twin or Herc or blood, and I call each other 5, like what's up 5? You know, it's not normal for other people to do it, but that's how they communicate with each other.
And so with regards to the messages here now on page 107, on September 7th, 2018, talking about the oath again.
Right, so it says copy, then I'll send you, I'll go fish you some other shit. You got the oath and all that?
Okay. And
And then
the question was asked.
9807 responds about the snakes, and that's in reference to that one document we went over where they talked about restructuring and clearing the snakes out of the garden because of informants and stuff like that.
Okay. So then the response to the question about the snakes is what?
Not twin, the shine oath, the oath to be able to say you Herc. So he says, he's not talking about the memorandum that was sent out to inform people of the changes within the organization. He's saying, do you have the oath that we've read a couple times already? That's if you know that oath, that's how they know that you are G-Shine.
Okay. And then talking about the Shine birthday and things like that.
Yeah, he tells them that's the main things you're supposed to know are the Shine birthday, the founders who started the hoods. So he's prepping him for future interviews and interactions he's going to have with higher ups because they're going to, they might not realize they're getting quizzed, but they are getting quizzed.
Okay. And then what does 9807 respond to that?
I ain't got none of that, but
So going on to page 108. What does it say on this first message from the individual identified as Boone?
it's damn N-words had you out here, all types of lost. The history of the hood, important to know. I'm gonna send it to make sure you get right on that shit, blood. So he's explaining that, basically saying you've been claiming blood and you don't know any of the knowledge. You need to know this, it's important.
Okay. And so the response from the 9807.
He says, I know who the founder is, blood. I'm saying you ain't sent it. And then he writes Julius B. Sonny, which is incorrect.
Okay.
Incorrect answer to who the founder is. I'm saying you ain't send it. This is all I got.
And so then in response,
Oh no, I only sent the memo. I'm trying to see what else I gotta send.
and the picture on that, is that the same photo that was previously published in State 68?
Yes, I believe that's the document, same document.
Okay. Moving on to page 109. At the top,
So,
and this, you referred to the Julius B. Sonny as being an incorrect answer.
right, so as I stated, the Julius B. Sonny is wrong. GKB, Gangster Killer Bloods, right? The initialism for it is GKB. They go also as G-Shine, it's one of their names. And at one point, early on in history, they also called themselves Julius B. Sonny. Many of the other blood gangs do the same thing, like the 9 Trade Gangster Bloods call themselves the Billy Badass Bloods, right? So this is just another one. And it appears that the 9807 number was confused as to this because Julius B. Sonny sounds like a person's name.
Okay. Talking about the date that GKB started next in that message.
Yeah.
Based on the training experience and the information that has been provided to you in this specific field, is that an accurate date for the start of GKB?
Yes,
And what date is that?
February 16, 1996.
Going out to the bottom of page 109. Can you read the last message here and explain what that is?
They asked me to grant a 31. So 31 is in reference to the original 31 rules or laws. And running a 31 in reference to the UBN would be, if you remember when we talked about the different ways to get into a gang, being blessed in, being beat in, putting in work, running a 31 would be in reference to getting beat in. So some people are blessed in, and they might not earn the same respect as if they weren't beat in because they didn't actually have to shed blood and fight for their position in the gang. So he's asking, did you get beat in?
Okay. And in response to some of the other questions at the top of page 110. You mentioned the memo and the restart or rebirth.
Right.
Is that date November 16th, 2006 consistent with the gang knowledge that has been intercepted by law enforcement?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the response from the 9277 goon number.
So I'll read it. Hello, making sure blood and words nowadays be getting passes and bros don't respect that shit. If you ran it, then that's valid. So this goes towards what I just stated, where some bloods are brought into the game just for having money or for whatever reason. And it's looked down upon because most bloods have to get paid in to get in. And he was just making sure.
Okay.
He's letting him know.
And so then going on to, if you could just summarize the September 7th, 2018, as to what that, the message at the top, what that one meant.
So it's got to respect that. Now, if you want to let your nuts hang in front of the bros and run it again, then you can. But if you did it, then it ain't mandatory. So he's saying, he's using slang, a lot of slang, right? So let your nuts hang. Do you want to show them that you have the bravado to be, not say what they're trying to say. Do you have the courage to redo it in front of all your bros, in front of the homies, right? If you do it again, you can, but it's not mandatory. You don't have to run it again. You've already ran a 31, but you could do it and show everyone that you're tough.
Okay. So going on to the page 111 at the top, talking about the big fool again. Can you read that and publish that message for the jury?
The big fool will be out here next month too. If you're trying to link with him and shit, he sent me the info yesterday. So he's telling him the boss is going to be in town, and if the 9807 number wants to meet with him, so let him know so he can set it up.
Okay. Going on to sending on September 9th, 2018, more messages from Goon. What did they say?
So send you the updated lingo books. Did you get that?
And the response from the 9807 phone?
All right, I'm gonna look now, Herc. I'm in the A right now.
Okay. Then responding back, going to the September 10th at 12:50.
Yo Twin, sorry.
Please, if you could publish that one.
Yo Twin, for the show on the 29th, how are we gonna link you? You gonna make her perform and leave? Like, should I snatch a section with the bros or what?
Okay. And then response to that, what is the response to the 9807 number?
I'm back with you, so he's saying he's gonna hang out with them.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in Jacksonville this weekend.
And DOA, what does that stand for?
Dead on arrival.
At the end of that page of 113, you could publish that last message and then translate it.
I was just 2 and 2 with her. I was just talking to him.
September 11th on page 114. Just ran into, if you could just publish that message there.
9807 number sends this text message. Just ran into Ubon Herc.
Okay.
Ubon's a blood out of Broward County.
And is Pompano a city in Broward County?
It is.
Going on to September 11th, 2018, 9:52 p.m., page 115. What does the 9807 number say about that individual?
He says he's 9 Trey. He told to ask about him. 9 Trey being 9 Trey Gangster Bloods. It's another blood set within the UPN.
Okay. And then continuing on, again on page 115, September 13th, 2018. The last message here, what does that one say?
Follow my IG blood.
What's an IG?
Instagram.
Okay, the response from 9807.
Send it blood.
And again, 9807 says what?
I'll shout you out.
So September 13th of 2018, 4:17 p.m. A Instagram account is sent.
Yes, Vulture Gang _music group.
Okay. So going on to page 117 at the bottom. If you could publish that message for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
It says, hell yeah. shit, let me know you know the Herc's on stage.
Continuing on to September 13th, 2018, page 118.
Say less twin, I'm gonna send you some more shit today.
And continuing on September 16th of 2018, this message right here.
Linked with Herc last night, them boys the truth.
Going on to page 122, September 26th of 2018. What does the goon number say to the 9807 number?
Read it or someone says.
Just if you could read it. And then,
Damn fool, you ain't even telling me you was in the O last night. Referring to Orlando, Florida.
and then the discussion continued on September 28th.
Yo, bro. So I'm trying to figure out if I should grab a section for tomorrow, or if you got one, and we, with you, and I just grab the bottles. That way we gonna sip. Sorry. I just don't want to buy a section for nothing. I did that before and spent no time in my section. It was a waste.
Okay, and based on your training experience, do you know what they're referring to?
Getting a section, like a VIP section at an event.
Okay.
He wants to know if he should get a section for himself, or if the 9807 number is just going to allow them to be in his section.
Okay. So then on September 29th, there's a discussion about people coming from Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
If you could just kind of summarize that message on page 123 at 1:01 p.m.
He's just asking. He's saying that saying he has people coming in from Georgia. He wants to make sure that they're going to be able to get in, they're going to be able to hang out, because he doesn't want them to make the drive for no reason.
Okay.
What people do?
123. So going forward to October 25th of 2018, 10:25, 1:09 p.m. If you could publish that message to ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Yo, bro, what you got going on? Edward's been in my line talking about you talking wild on IG and FI, I think, in Facebook, but FI ain't real right. What are you talking about?
That was page 127 for defense counsel. Going on to page 128 at the top. The message from Goon to the 9807 number, what does it read?
You straight? I just heard what happened last night.
Okay. And again, the same message or the video that we watched previously.
Right.
Okay. Going on to the fifth chat with an individual that's identified as Papa.
Mm-hmm.
That phone number. If you could read the first message.
Hey, Slime, people hitting me up talking about, you said something about putting an N-word on a Winnie the Pooh shirt, saying you had dim did something to do with it. I told they ass, stop calling me about that shit. It ain't my business. I don't know shit about nothing. I don't know, man. But congratulations on XXL, little one. I'm proud of you.
The term slime.
So go ahead.
Can you explain that to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
The term slime is something East Coast Bloods say. West Coast Bloods won't say slime. It started off with YSL, record label, Young Thug. That's where it came from.
And so at the bottom of page 129, if you could read the response from 9807.
I gave an example slime.
And August 23rd, 2018, the 9807 number, what does it say to the Papa contact?
Appreciate that, slime. I got a new phone.
The response at the top of page 131.
You got the same number?
And so to refer back now to page 130, the message at 1:25 p.m.
I got in a fight with NBA YoungBoy and all Slime the internet, don't know, cause I don't rock like that.
And then continuing on that response on 1:26 p.m. on page 131.
In LA, I popped his ass about 4 times, laughed my ass off, but they jumped, and they was at least 90. And yeah, my number's the same. I just had to buy a new phone.
Continuing on, there's a image down here at the bottom. And were you able to view those images?
I did a while back.
In terms of the page 134 on this particular set of messages, on 8/31/2018, the BAPA number sends a message. If you could read that.
You bark with him? So did you talk to him?
Okay, is that its same meaning or symbolism that you had talked about earlier about the barking and the dogs?
Right, so it would be something significant to someone that falls under the UPN.
Okay, so then going on to the September 1st, 2018, 10:08 a.m., the bottom message.
Rise up, twin, what's poppin', Herc? Those are standard G-Shine greetings that are listed in multiple Bibles, not just the one we got from the email.
Okay, the response from the 9807 is what on September 7th?
Herc,
Okay. And again, the Julius B. Sunny.
yeah, this guy's wrong too, but it says Julius B. Sunny's the founder of Shine.
Okay. And so then BAPA asks in the top of page 135, what is the first question that he asks?
What else do you need to know?
What does the 9807 number ask for?
For G-Shine's birthday, Shine's birthday.
Okay. Are these the same messages that were then sent to Boone, basically copy and pasted?
I have to go back and see, but it looks like it basically, February 16, 1996, the same date.
Okay. And so the last message on September 7th, 2018 on here from BAPA on this page, what does it say?
The homies coming to the show, or coming to the show, and the big fool from up top.
Okay. And the response?
Bet.
Then here, there's a discussion on September 9th of 2018. Who are they talking about? At 252. Page 136.
252?
Yes.
You talked to Goon?
So there's discussion about losing someone at 9:15, 2018 on page 138. What does 9807 ask?
Who did we lose? Who we lost?
Okay, and the response
Bloody J from Fort Pierce.
on the page 139 at the top, the 9807 number says what?
Got a show in Daytona.
Okay. Going now to October 26th of 2018 at 7:47 a.m. What does the individual named as BAPA say?
Damn kid, I heard what happened. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm here if you need me.
And the next message,
Man, I just snapped on Sack Chaser.
and then the clarification.
I mean YG.
And the last one on this page, 140, the message says from BAPA to the individual with the 9807 phone number.
Love you, kid.
So Detective, you have in front of you a, I believe, 50-page document. Did you have the opportunity to review that prior to coming into court?
Can I see sidebar for a second?
Yes, sir.
Our lunch and recess now. Do not discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the case, don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence or research. Just leave your notepads on your chairs. We'll see you back here at about an hour and 15 minutes, 1:45, all right? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
identification purposes only.
Thank you. Please be seated. Let the record once again reflect the principal jury. Defendant objects his counsel, the assistant state attorney, by which remains on stand. Ladies and gentlemen, I trust you all had a nice lunch. You were able to stay dry. It's raining out there, but many of them. We're ready to proceed. We've got the state still on direct examination of the witness. Counsel, if you're ready, you may proceed.
Yeah, okay, detective, we had talked about and shown you what's been previously marked as state's XXX for identification purposes only. Was that a document that you reviewed prior to coming into court today?
Yes.
Does that document fairly and accurately depict the conversation between the 9807 phone number and an individual identified as Ben?
Yes.
You're at this time state requesting of state XXX in and published.
Objection?
Objections on grounds for nothing.
Steve, come second.
Your permission to publish?
You may.
Thank you. Detective Polo, starting on page 1 out of 57 on this, is this first text, if you could read that out loud, please.
This bang hit me up real quick. HM hit me up.
Okay, and so this conversation is between an individual that's labeled as Bang and the 9807 phone number again?
Yes.
And I want to go forward on this. So in terms of starting at through here, in terms of the message here on September 6, 2018.
Yes.
What is that message say? Page 4.
G shit question mark.
Okay. And the response from the Bang message is what?
Shit, yeah. Hey, you beefing with that in green dude?
And what is the response?
I don't even consider it beef and word cap.
And in terms of the word cap, is that used in any specific context in these messages?
Yeah, capping just means like he's not taking it serious. It's just, you know, they're talking trash to each other.
Okay. In terms of the word slime, again, do you see that in the messages on page 5?
Yes. That's how he refers to the subject.
Okay. And I believe again back on, no. So going forward to September 19th of 2018. What does the person identified as Bang ending in 5054 say?
Okay.
7. Yes.
At the studio, what's the knowledge building?
Okay. Going forward to the bottom of page 8. The last word in this message on September 20th, 2018, 6:28 p.m. What does that tell you about the person composing that message?
The person is continuing to use blood-related language by taking out the C's and using either B's or other letters. In this case, it's B.
Okay. On September 23rd, 2018, there is a page or a screenshot of a Instagram or social media page that is sent What is the message that's asked?
It's you, blood.
And what's the response?
Hell no. Fan page. Send a pic to me though.
And in terms of the picture that is sent in return on page 10, that is, for the record, States Publishing has been previously admitted as State 62. In terms of the middle message here about you back in Louisiana, is there, you mentioned regional differences in the way individuals and gangs work. Can you explain to ladies and gentlemen of the jury a little bit about the Louisiana, New Orleans set of the Bloods?
So East Coast Bloods operate under the UBN, for some reason, and it's not really something we've been able to tell is Louisiana Bloods don't fall under kind of like the same structure as the other gangs within the UBN. For some reason, Louisiana Bloods will claim their hoods, their neighborhoods. So instead of repping G-Shine, GKB, something like that, or Nitrate, they'll just rep a hood that they're from. So if they're from 40th Avenue and Baton Rouge, Holly Grove in Louisiana, then they'll rep those hoods. And there might be Bloods from those hoods, and that's what they rep, instead of falling under the major UBN alliances or sets.
Okay, so going on to page 12, the individual that's been identified as Bang in the messages, what does he say?
I just made in back to Baton Rouge.
And then the next one?
Excuse me. Just checking on you, blood, be safe.
Okay. Going down again to another message on the bottom of page 13 from the individual labeled as Bang. What does he say?
Says, laughing out loud, you on the move, blood? I like that. You be motivating me.
And that was in response to a question from the 9807.
Right. He says, damn, I'm gonna be in LA.
So I want to go through the 9807 number on page 16 for defense counsel at 10/13/2018, 11:16 p.m. Has that same SLAT, S-L-A-T-T. Is that something that you've seen all through these messages?
Yeah, it's commonly used blood call out, black, slap, brat.
Okay.
Just things that they say, so you know someone is for blood or you're talking to a blood. You're supposed to use the lingo as we've previously discussed, as it's stated in the Bibles.
Okay, going into, again, still page 16, moving down to the message of October 13, 2018 at 11:17 p.m.
The 9807 number states in North Carolina, getting ready for this show. Obviously, he's taking up the C in North Carolina, replacing with big B legs.
And then the response from the 5054 Bang number.
It says, oh, I'm about to head to Gaudi's concert at SQL. I was just checking in on you, blood.
Okay. On page 17, October 14th of 2018. Can you read that one and then explain what it's meaning?
9807 number asks, you know someone selling a glizzy? Glizzy is a slang term for a Glock.
Okay. Then continuing on to the next page on page 18. What is the 9807 asking at, again, October 14th, 2018?
He again asks, without putting a question mark, but any gun, basically saying I'll take any gun.
Okay. Going on to October 26, 2018 at 4:45 a.m.
Okay.
Can you read this specific message and make it a little bit bigger? Page 20.
3220 Southwest 192nd Avenue, Miramar, Florida, 33029. I'm on my way right now, blood.
I'm going down to the 9807 messages on October 26, 2018 44611 and 44619. What does the 9807 number say at that point?
This one?
Yes.
All right, bro. Ain't nobody picking up.
And then the next one?
Shit crazy. AF as fuck. Right now. Blood. What the fuck?
And in response to that, what does the number identified as bang 5054 say?
Bang responds. I'm on my way. Blood. I got you.
Okay. And in terms of the locations or anything like that, you did not analyze any of that data?
No.
Okay. Going on to October 27th of 2018, 3:22 a.m. What does that say?
You good, blood?
And that's coming from which individual?
Fredo bang.
Okay. Again, the 9807 phone number at this point says on October 27th, 2018, 3:25 a.m. a response?
Hell yeah. Appreciate everything, blood. I love you.
Continuing on to page 22. Again, the 5054 bang, Frito bang number says what?
I love you too, blood. I told you I'm just a phone call away.
Going to the 9807 again at 10:27, 3:37 a.m. What terminology and how is it used by the 9807 phone?
First name is blood again.
Okay. And the last message on 10/31, 2018 on page 22 with the use of the word slime again.
It says I already bought his slime.
And the response on
Nope.
the,
Go ahead. Sorry. He states, love you, blood.
that's at the top of page 23. Going on to page 24, what does the 9807 phone number say out?
The album Riding Blood, no cap.
Continuing on October 31st, is there another blood reference by the 5054 bang?
Yes. Just continues to use blood.
Mhm. Again, at the bottom of page 25, does the 9807 use slang or in terms of endearment associated with the blood gang members?
Yes, same use of the word blood.
Based on your review of these messages, would you categorize Frito Bang as a member of G-Shine?
Not based off these messages.
Okay. Continuing on to page 27, November 1st, 2018. What does the number associated with Frito Bang state to the 9807 number?
Just calls him blood.
And in response to that, what does the 9807 state back?
What it is, blood.
Going down to page 29, 11/2/2018, 4:30 p.m. What is this text message say from the 9807 phone number?
States Dolly and Dora, blood. That's her brother.
And again, the 9807 phone number on page 30 on November 2nd, 2018.
Says, damn, do your thing, show your ass, blood.
And then on November 2nd, 2018, 5:46 p.m. on page 31.
Yeah, I'm a sprinter, blood.
On page 33, on November 2nd, 2018, 9:16.
Bang, calls out to him again, states blood.
And the response from the 9807 number?
Snap.
And then again here on page 34, the first message up here on November 12th from the Frito Bang number.
Just at the crib, like he's telling me he's home, he's at the crib.
Okay. And then on the response from the 9807.
I think that's right where you at, but it says WYO. So WYO, but I'm gonna hit the studio.
Okay. And then continuing on, 9807, does it use another slang term for associated with blood?
Same continued use of the term blood.
Okay. Again, on November 13th, the top of page 35, another
Yes,
use of that terminology?
yes.
Going now to November 13th, 2018. On this specific message from the 9807 phone number, what does it say?
Condo.
And what is significant about the way it's spelled?
There's no C in it. You put a K, same thing. Just replacing the C's with a different letter.
Okay. And again, on November 14th on page 37, on the word location, what is done at that time?
Same, does the same exact thing. Send location. He's going out of his way to take out C's and put E's in.
Okay. The response from the individual identified as the 5054 Frito Bay number.
He sends his contact location.
And then I'm sorry, down here at the bottom, 11/15/2018.
He just responds or calls out sending blood again.
Okay. Again, on now page 38, from the 5054 Frito Bay number.
It says, send that bitch blood.
Okay. Again, on page 39, from the 5054 number,
Blood again.
and the response.
Slap.
Continuing on page 41, at the very top, the 11/22/2018 message from the 9807.
9807 states, thanks, happy Thanksgiving, my blood.
Okay, continuing on to November 23rd, 2018.
Again, calls him his blood.
Okay. Now the 5054 at the still on page 41 says what?
What up, blood?
And the response from on page 41 from 9807 phone number.
Says, you good, blood? Just checking up on you.
Oh.
Or checking on you, sorry. Takes out the C for checking, puts a B.
Okay, again on page 43, the 5054 Bang, Frito Bang number, what does it say?
Just reaches out to him, calling him blood.
And the response?
Gang.
Again on page 45, November 28, 2018, how does the 5054 number reach out to the 9807 phone number?
Same way by calling him blood again.
The 9807 number on November 28, 2018, the top of page 46, makes a statement that says what?
I'm bumming from Miami, so I'm coming from Miami.
And then again on page 47,
He reaches out to him, calls him blood.
and the response from the 9807 phone number.
Phone was in the other room, blood.
Okay. Going on to page 50, on December 11th, again, a call out by the 5054 number for Frito Bang saying what?
Blood.
And the response from the 9807 number.
What's good, blood?
Continuing on to page 52, the 9807 number says what?
Love you, blood, for real.
Okay, and in response, the 5054 Frito Bang number says,
I don't remember what LOYT stands for. Blood, I'm about to call you.
okay, and the response from the 9807.
Bet, blood.
December 29th, 2018,
You good, blood?
and response from the 9807 phone number.
Hell yeah, blood. Love.
The December 29th, 2018,
Just checking on you, bloody.
and the response.
I'm already knowing, blood.
Okay, so detective, I think the final on this, which just covers through February of 2019, the last on page 56, 5054 on January 26, 2019 says what?
Blood. Just blood.
And before that on January 25th,
Love you, blood.
okay, and the response from the 9807 number.
What's up, blood?
So detective, did you also have the opportunity to look through photos?
Yes.
I'm showing what's been previously shown to council marked as for identification purposes as states triple Y. So detective, I'm going to have an opportunity to look through these images.
Always well.
Yes, let's start with just the images. Have you reviewed those images before coming into court?
Yes.
Do they fairly accurately depict images of the defendant?
Yes.
To go now through the reports. Are these some of the images from those same chats and reports that we've seen, as well as others from this particular phone?
Yes.
In terms of the videos that are on this, have you had the opportunity to watch these videos before coming into court?
Yes.
And do they fairly accurately depict the videos that were on the 9807 phone?
Yes.
Here at this time, the state requesting the state's triple Y in and published to the jury.
Is there any objection?
Same objection as previously made.
State's triple Y, New York State 72.
Submitted.
That is one USD. I'm going to start with the videos. So I'm going to split that one and pause it. The individuals that are identified in this particular live photo / video from the iPhone, do you recognize those individuals?
Okay, yes, I'm.
Okay, so I'm going to start with the person on the far left in the black shirt.
That's Courtney.
Okay, the next individual in the blue shirt with the green stripe and RS in front of it.
Mr. Dennis.
Okay, going on across to the person on the far right the photo with the long dreads, the gray jacket, black pants.
I believe that's track.
Are there gang signs or symbols that are being shown in this particular image?
Well, the colors, some of them are wearing color red, and then you have Mr. Dennis throwing out GKB with one hand, and the other hand just east side. Those are two signs.
Okay. The Chicago Bulls hat in the background, is that something that's associated with a blood gang?
Yeah, blood gang members typically wear red Chicago Bulls outfits. Mount Pyru, blood gang members typically wear that a little more because it's similar to one of their symbols, which the subject in the white shirt is throwing out. So the Mount Pyru is mixing M. I apologize. And then the subject obviously wearing all red. This is one of the subjects in the picture wearing almost all red. Mr. Dennis is wearing plenty of red shoes, red highlights on the shirt with some green.
Okay, so I'm gonna go forward and publish, and that was, for the record, image_0162.mov. So I'm gonna go and publish image_0300.
You see that shit, you know what I'm saying? From up on that shit, she aware of how who is. See the YNW? Yeah, you took a rip. See that shit, man. You niggas, one of the niggas been black on that show.
So the individual that's speaking in that video, do you recognize that person?
Mr. Dennis.
And last but not least, image 278.mov.
No regrets for the shit I did. That also means for the niggas out. Yeah, both that AM. Never say one.
So Detective Malone asks, are you a Kevin Gates fan?
Yeah, Kevin Gates fan.
Are you familiar with the Kevin Gates song 4:30 a.m.?
Yes.
Is some of that last video that we just watched consistent with that lyrics?
Yeah, variation of the song.
Okay. Does the Kevin Gates song 4:30 a.m. include the lyrics never say when?
I believe so.
Does it say both of them?
Don't think so.
So continuing on to go through some of the other photos that are now as part of this exhibit. And this is image _1038. Can you identify the individual as Mr. Demons in this photo?
Yes, subject wearing green with the name Melvin written on his tracksuit.
And is he showing
Not the
any,
jacket, sorry.
is he putting up any signs or signals that would be associated with criminal gangs?
Yeah, just the east side.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Going into image 160.jpg. What are we looking at here?
That's a really commonly used blood hand sign, spelled out blood, BLOOD, using both hands.
And in terms of this image, who are we looking at in this image?
So Mr. Demons using both hands to throw up the big B's for blood.
And is this the same jacket from the previous photo?
Yes. At least it appears to be. There's a lot more zoomed in.
Moving on to the next image here. What is shown in this photo?
So Mr. Demons putting a big B up to his forehead.
terms of the one we're looking at here, image underscore 0194.png. What is this?
That's the same photograph located on the phone, the document forwarded to him.
And in terms of in going through the phone, did you see numerous screen captures like this?
Yeah, there's a lot, like more than what I can count at this point. I went through thousands of images. It's a lot of screenshots of FaceTimes with Mr. Devins on the small camera with the camera function to switch the camera, showing that he's the one holding that phone that is screenshotting the picture.
Okay. So going to this photo here, image1.jpg. Are there common handshakes and gestures that are done between different members of Bloods to acknowledge one another?
Yes.
Going on to this image, is Mr. Demons doing any hand signs in this one?
It's kind of blurry. You can't really tell what he's doing in his hand.
Okay. So I'm going to go through now these images. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger. Detective Fuller, these images found in open source part of your investigation?
Yes, I found those on, I believe this was YouTube.
Okay, and you identify the defendant in this photograph?
Yes.
Which one is he?
The subject in the center wearing black with the 5-point star he made with his hands.
And can you explain to ladies and gentlemen of the jury why the 5-point star is important to know?
The 5-point star is one of the primary symbols of the United Blood Nation. They use the 5-point star as opposed to people of Folk Nation, Crips, GDs. They use the 6-point star. So the 5-point star is indicative of anyone that falls under People Nation, and then the UBN and or Bloods.
Okay. So I'll go to the next photo here. Is this from another one of the publicly available videos?
Yes, another video that's posted online.
And what gang signs or symbols are shown in this particular image?
Just throwing up B's, just little B's.
Is there any difference between the big B and the little b?
Just a different way to throw it up, just different hand signs.
Okay.
Just put them together sometimes and throw up a stack.
Okay, and the stack says what?
Depending on what you're trying to say, sometimes a subject can see an enemy on the street, they know this person's from a different gang, you can throw up his sign, let them know that I'm so-and-so, I'm with this gang, this is where I'm from. Or it could just be as simple as just identifying yourself to another blood, letting you know your blood too.
Okay, and the image that we're looking at here, what is these gang signs or symbols is he throwing up in this one?
Same thing, it's cut off, but it's the B's.
Okay. And going on to this next one?
Same hand signs, the big B's.
And again, on this one?
That's the GKB hand sign, it's not right there. It's different.
And on this one?
Big B's, same ones, but from the previous pictures.
Okay, and then on this one again?
Big B hand sign, same one from the other ones.
And this one?
That's another form of throwing up the 5-point crown. It's a variation of the same thing there.
You mentioned OLA and GKB.
Yeah.
What does this image demonstrate?
This is a well-known GKB gang member. He goes by Big Ola, GKB, that's his handle. This is his screenshot of his social media. As I stated before, Ola is a term used by the Bloods. It means blood. And typically, members of the Blood gang will use some of this language in their handles. And he's doing the same hand sign, the same GKB hand sign, that hand sign right there.
And the thing written on the back of that shirt?
You shine, I shine, we all shine. It's a variation of the G-Shine motto. I shine, you shine, we shine. G-Shine.
Okay. Another image from one of the publicly available videos. What does it show?
It's Mr. Demons. His hair is painted red, and he's throwing up the B's for the AD.
And in this particular image, what does it show?
That's the rapper Trippy Red, who happens to be a Blood, and he's putting a red bandana styled jacket on Mr. Demons.
Okay, Detective Cole, we've gone through a number of items. In terms of, can you summarize for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about the number of times the defendant admits to criminal gang membership?
Every single one of these videos and photographs are posted where he's referencing G-Shine, throwing up G-Shine, writing it as basically as the title of his album, and representing G-Shine. Those are all admissions. Be the same thing as, you know, someone walking around wearing a police uniform. They're telling you who they belong to, who they belong, who
So
they run with.
that segues into the number of times where he adopts the style or dress of a criminal gang.
Right.
Can you point out the specific examples of some of the items and photographs and things that were indicative of that?
There was plenty of photographs that I went through on the cell phone extraction where Mr. Demons is wearing primarily red. He also uses the color green, and with that, you know, uses emojis significant to Bloods, East Coast Bloods, like the blood draw, the big B emoji, and the little snake for slime.
Okay. In terms of the hand signs, so just in the images that we just went over on that. Also, the associates with one or more known criminal gang members. Can you describe to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the number of associates you were able to document and show in the videos and pictures we just went through?
When I was originally going through all the documents and the phone, started identifying people off of the photographs, he associated with many, many different Bloods, and I have at least, if you want to just count the ones that he was communicating with directly, there's the subject Goon, Isaiah Eberhard, who was trying to recruit him into one G-Shine set. There's Gino, Derek Dixon, who did recruit him into that G-Shine set. His godfather Stretch, Keith Stevens, sorry. That's a Blood. He's a high-ranking Blood, been named in multiple Blood indictments. There's Jaquan Burton, Q-Shine. And then there's his other associates within the organization that are repping Blood. I don't want to really get into the rappers because he's a musician.
Okay, so in terms of, has he been observed in the company of one or more known criminal gang members 4 or more times?
Yes.
Okay. The primary activities of G-Shine, what have those been identified as based on your review of the records?
Historically, for the entire organization?
Yes.
Objection, the relevancy.
You may it specify.
So, gangster killer Bloods have been known to commit crimes of violence such as robberies, home invasions, homicides, assaults, shootings. They've also been involved in narcotics trafficking, street level narcotic sales, involved in firearm trafficking, firearm sales, fraud, almost every crime you can think of under the racketeering statute. That's why there's been many racketeering indictments on the gangster killer Bloods.
Okay, so I want to go through on State 68, which has been previously admitted into evidence. Is there a portion in this where it talks about what is G-Shine's main goal or activity, or what their role is in the UBN?
Yeah, pretty much on the first paragraph, if I remember correctly, first paragraph of the Bible, specifically the Bible that was sent to Mr. Demons, it explains why GKB was created and for what their purposes within the gang. I know I touched on it early on, that they're a set within the Blood organization that's known to be the enforcement type, and that's what set tripping is, where they go and enforce against other Bloods that are set tripping, not acting accordingly, not following rules, or just not meeting the standards that they deem to be Blood-like, and they detail it in their Bible. So here, the first lines explain how UBN was created, who created GKB, and then I'll start from here. You had those who proclaimed to be the true and living, and those who perpetrated a fraud. So there's true Bloods, and then there was people that were pretending to be Bloods. So when the notorious set, speaking about GKB, they're the notorious set, arrived to bring forth unity, structure, and leadership to the nation being the United Blood Nation, right? Within the belly of the beast being where the organization was created in prison, Rikers Island. Now the set has migrated to the streets, So they're no longer in the belly of the beast. Now they've migrated onto the streets, so out to the outside world, and is one of the biggest and most feared sets within the Eastern UBN.
So, Detective Polo, can one gang member kill another gang member in the same set?
Yes,
Can one gang member kill another gang member in a different set or lineup?
yes.
In terms of the being able to kill someone who's a family member or a friend, does the gang come first or do friends and family come first?
Everything we've read up to this point and everything just outside of this, I mean, everything I've read, you know, hundreds and hundreds of pages of blood documents and interviews, it doesn't matter. The main thing, the most important thing to each blood set or each blood click lineup, whatever you want to call it, is that blood set. So the collective within the smaller collective, right?
Would one of the items that we talked about, just adopting the criminal gang signs or just the style of dress, would that be enough to say someone is a gang member?
No.
Would lyrics to songs be enough to say someone's a gang member?
No.
Would music they listen to be enough to tell you what affiliation someone was?
I'd be in trouble
Why?
because I listen to a lot of different music from a lot of different artists who have a lot of gang affiliations that would make you a gang member.
Okay. In terms of, can you describe to ladies and gentlemen of the jury what benefit does gang membership offer to an individual?
Specifically to the individual, what it offers is support, power, finances, so financial support as well, not just physical support. Especially if someone is just coming up. If someone already has all those things, then you would want the gang more specifically to be helping you for the power, you know, the purposes of power, the notoriety, the name and the fear that the Blood Nation carries.
Okay. Does homicide or murder specifically help with the standing in a gang?
Yeah, especially, I won't say especially, most of these gangs, one of the main things to do to move up within the gang is to shed blood. So yeah, killing and violence are major motivators within a gang.
In terms of denying it to law enforcement and that, why would somebody do that if it helps them gain status?
Well, first of all, they're told not to talk to law enforcement. So although we do have a lot of gang members who allow us to interview them, they're not really supposed to. And it would affiliate them with an organization which is very familiar with racketeering, very familiar with organized criminal cases, because there's been, I can't even remember how many blood indictments and blood racketeering cases and just blood drug trafficking organizations have been taken down just based off the fact that it started off as a bloods investigation.
Would you say that YNW is a gang?
No.
What is YNW?
Initially, most people probably that maybe initially upon looking at it, if that's all you know about them, oh, there's a group of guys that are committing crimes and their name is YNW. This is an example. I'm not saying. Then you might say, okay, maybe the name of their gang is YNW, because as I stated before, there's many neighborhood street gangs, right? They come up with letters, initials, and whatever, you know, ABC gang, 1, 2, 3 gang, whatever. But after doing research on this investigation, I determined that although members within YNW were members of specific gangs, not every member was a member of a gang, and they weren't all members of the same gangs. So they were just a music collective, and got gang members in them.
With regards to the victims in this case, did you look and see if determined if they weren't members of any criminal street gangs?
I did look into it. I saw very minor evidence of their gang association. Obviously, there's videos of them together, the YNW collective together, hanging out, and that's why I don't take the hand signs on their own as a thing, because a lot of times you're associating with some guys and they happen to be bloods, and you guys take a group selfie together, and everyone's going up with me. You might just do it in association with your friends. So like that alone, I couldn't say they were members of any gang. And then I had contradicting evidence from sources that called me.
Well, without getting into any of those, how far back in terms of timeline, did you go back for this defendant?
I went to the beginning of the SoundCloud account. I forgot the year on that. Maybe it was 2015. And then there was a YouTube video of Mr. Demons with his associates back before Mr. Demons was recruited into the Gangster Bloods.
Okay. And in terms of the time frame on that, was that before that 2015 SoundCloud account?
I believe so.
The photos and things that you've seen with the defendant throwing up some of those gang signs that are on the phone, were those later published to the public Instagram accounts?
Some of them, yeah.
Is there a difference in terms of taking pictures with other famous individuals who are known to be blood associated versus non-famous individuals?
I would say so. I mean, it appears that a lot of blood musicians want to associate with other blood musicians, but it's not, they're all part of different sets.
Okay. In terms of the phone and the information that you looked through, we've gone through about 200 some odd pages of it so far in court.
Right.
Is that all that you went through?
No.
And for the discussions between the defendant and the two victims in this case.
Right.
Did you notice any signs or language in their conversations that would be specific to G-Shine or GKB?
None.
What does that tell you as a gang investigator?
If they were associated with a gang, they weren't the same gang as Mr. Demons. They weren't speaking with each other in that manner as if they were under the same umbrella.
How would you compare and contrast that with, like, for example, Jalen Green that you talked about?
Jalen Green was part of a different GKB set. So was Fredo Bang, and so was Goon, but they spoke with each other using love language.
Okay. In terms of your work in the gang world, do you only work for prosecutors?
No,
What other types of consultations do you do?
I recently testified I recently testified to say that someone wasn't a gang member. It was a couple months ago. That was on the XXX case, saying that Drake wasn't a gang member. I testified on behalf of the defense on the ZMF gang case. I've been asked by Mr. Demons' counsel if I would consult on one of their cases in Orlando.
Excuse me, I have an objection to the way approach.
Don't need a welcome break in any event, so ladies and gentlemen, just put the notepads down, do not discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the case, don't allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence, and certain no research. All right, we'll take a short recess, thank you.
Adventuring. I'm about to make a video on it. I need all. I gotta get all the details because I didn't know it was that deep. I didn't know it was that deep. Okay.
Thank you. Let the record reflect the jury stepped out. Counsel Manuel, the defendant, and the witness. Yes, sir. You said you want to discuss something?
Yes, that last question, could I have it read back? Because I was writing my, if the state just asked.
Question, what type of consultation do you do?
And I thought you asked the witness, somebody said, made reference to the defense team. That's,
Excuse me. So why don't we do this? Just, Madam Clerk, if you would, Ms. LaQuita, just start from where you just read. Just read from there on. All right.
thank you.
From the question I just read,
Just read it again, the question you read, and just continue any other follow-up questions, any answers in between.
Okay, question, what type of consultation do you do? Answer, well, I recently testified to say that someone wasn't a gang member. It was a couple months ago. That was on the XXX case, saying that Drake wasn't a gang member. I testified on behalf of the defense on the ZMF gang case. I've been asked by Mr. Denman's counsel if I would consult on one of their cases in Orlando. Objection.
That's highly improper. It's not relevant. And I would ask the court, I'm sorry, Judge, shouldn't say it.
You're good.
And I'm getting tired. Ask the court to instruct, number one, the witness not to refer to the defense team. It was totally unrelated. And I would ask the court to instruct the jury that the last response by the witness is totally improper.
Thank you.
In terms of the defense going after the witness heavily as to his qualifications and his expertise in this area, it goes to the fact that he is qualified, that one of the defense counsels actually tried to retain this witness to consult on a gang case.
Thank you. In any event, the objection is sustained. I'm just going to tell the jury to disregard the last question and answer, and also you rephrase your question and just advise the witness. I believe it's improper for you to say that the defense is hiring you, and it gives us some or credibility that that the jury should make that decision on their own. I don't have an issue if you say you were retained on other cases by other defense counsel, but I don't want you referring to this team, whether they retain you or not. I just think that's should be the objection should be sustained. I think it's too prejudicial.
And right. There's just whether it should be to approach sidebar on that specific.
Sure.
All right, y'all. I need y'all to drop the prosecutor's name for me in the chat. So Columbia, CB, or Adventuring, drop the name down there because I'm gonna have y'all video on that. I sure am. I get up to speed.
All right, let's go back on record, please. The State Court versus Demons, President, please, the defendant, his counsel, the assistant attorney, jury, and the jury room. Our witnesses also present. All right, anything to discuss now? There's some issue about photographs?
Just for that, and then my examiner testified, Your Honor, as the case audit set forth the procedure as to how they, Your Honor, should look at the photos and determine which are useful and which are not useful, and then that doctor's testimony to go forward.
My understanding, a lot of that depends on what the doctor says.
Precisely, and that's what that case law stands for on that. So that I think that's something we would bring the doctor in outside the presence of the jury. She can explain why the various photographs are necessary. We've already narrowed it down from, I believe, 212 for the first individual down to less than 60. So
60.
About a third of them. All right, so we'll hear from the doctor. All right, you're ready to proceed?
yes, Your Honor.
You will give a hearing instruction.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bring the jury in, please.
Okay, Gene, don't lose the exhibit that you have.
Just put it back in.
Thank you. And do you need a break? Because I have 2 more questions.
Yeah, let's so that we don't have to change our mind. Maybe we could connect with. Just get on the battery. HDMI.
Yes, you're ready.
I think.
Gary, answer. Thank you. Let the record reflect the presence of the jury as well as the defendant, his counsel, the assistant attorneys, which remains on stand. Ladies and gentlemen, just I have a message that we need a break. That objection proposed. I sustain the objection, instructing you to disregard the last question and answer. All right, the answer generated information that was irrelevant, so I'm instructing you to disregard. Thank you. You may proceed.
Okay, so Detective, we talked about the multiple phones that Godfather was using. So on page 23 of the 140-page exhibit, the individual name is Gino, says what?
Yo, the GF, gonna call you today, make sure you're on point.
Okay. And then getting on to the next page, on page 24, what does Gino say with regards to the Godfather and the phones?
He'll get around to it. He's working like 4 or 5 phones.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Counsel, you cross examination.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Detective Polo.
Mr. Howard,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Don't know where to begin.
Sure, it'll be a pleasure.
We're trying to. So, we talked earlier when you and I spoke during this trial a bit earlier. We spoke about your expertise.
Yes.
And I think I'm not sure if you agreed, but I had posited to you that your expertise, at least as far as the court has recognized, it is a relatively recent phenomenon.
Being declared an expert in court, yeah, being allowed to be testified as an expert in court, yes.
Okay. And that has, you've done it 6 times.
I believe so.
This would be the 7th or the 6th?
It's a 7.
This is it. Okay. And that all came about ever since February of last year, or maybe even later.
No, the first time I recall from during our depositions, I told you the first time I testified, I believe it was in 2015.
Okay. I think you had told us back in February 17, 2022, that you had not yet been recognized as an expert.
Not recognized. Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. That was my fault. I testified in a King sentencing hearing. It wasn't. There was no need to tender me as an expert.
Okay. So it wasn't in an officially recognized expert capacity.
Correct.
You were offering information in the course of the sentencing based upon your involvement in an investigation, right?
I was testifying to the facts that a person being sentenced was a gang member, and basically the same thing we've done today.
Okay. And your first gang investigation was in 2016?
I started my first gang investigation, I believe, in 2016, yes.
Okay. And you've been doing a lot of gang investigations in this area. When I'm saying area, I mean geographical area, South Florida.
I've done personally, South Florida, some out of New York, Chicago, and California. And Arizona.
What about South Florida?
South Florida as well.
Okay. And you told us just a little while ago you listen to rap music.
Yes, sir.
Because you're hip, right?
I just grew up listening to it.
Okay.
I only recently started listening to other stuff.
And so you were familiar with the name YNW Melly as he became famous in the rap world.
But I answer that without being rude. I knew of the YNW Melly. I don't follow a lot of when he started off SoundCloud rappers. So I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying I didn't know him until he started becoming more famous.
Right. So as he became famous, you became familiar with the name YNW Melly.
Yes, sir.
In the context of a rapper.
Yes, sir.
And you, throughout all of your investigations, until you were asked to get involved in this case, you had not encountered the name YNW Melly or Jamel Demons in any of your gang investigations in South Florida.
I believe there was a gang investigation that was started, but I wasn't involved in it. And
Okay.
I know of it because it was run out of my building.
Okay, but when we deposed you on February 17th of 2022, you indicated that you had never encountered the name YNW Melly or Jamel Demons in the context of a gang investigation before you were asked to be involved in this case.
Correct. I'm just saying, since then, now I've been made aware that there was a previous investigation that I was not aware of.
Okay, now you're saying that somebody told you something, but you weren't involved.
Correct.
Okay, so in act,
Excuse me.
maybe you shouldn't. And I want you to listen to my question.
Sure.
You never investigated anyone by the name of Anthony Williams, aka YNW Sack Chaser, in any of your investigations prior to your involvement in this case.
No, sir.
And you also never investigated or came across the name Christopher Williams, aka YNW Judy, in any of your investigations from 2016 prior to your involvement in this case.
No, sir.
Right? You didn't get involved in this investigation until January of 2022.
Approximately, yes.
And you were aware at that time that the incident underlying this matter occurred in October 2018.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So were you told why it took so long to get you involved?
Objection relevant.
Sustain.
Do you know why it took you so long to get you involved?
Objection relevant.
Sustain.
So the way that you got involved is that your sergeant came and told you that the state wanted you to be involved in this matter as a gangster, right?
Correct.
And I think when we spoke to you on February 17, 2022, you said your response is, I would love it, right?
I like to be in court, sir.
Okay, so you are love it. So,
That's this one?
okay. And then you spoke to Ms. Bradley,
Yes. I'll speak up, sir.
and you asked her for all the documentation related to this case.
Yes.
And you said the reason you asked is because you cannot say somebody's a gang member without looking at the evidence.
Correct.
So presumably, when Ms. Bradley spoke to you, she said, I want you to say he's a gang member, and you said, I can't without looking at the evidence, right?
I don't think that's how the conversation went. I think she wanted me to determine whether he was a gang member.
Okay, that was the question. You said you think. Is this something you recall?
Yeah, I recall it being can you determine whether this guy's a gang member? Can you testify to the fact that this guy's a gang member? Not, this guy's a gang member, make it so.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about semantics. I'm talking about Ms. Bradley indicated to you that she believed he was a gang member, and she wanted you to confirm her suspicion.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustain.
Now, we have gone through pages and pages of documents that you reviewed.
Yes.
And did it occur to you that the vast majority of the statements that you were reading were statements coming out of the mouths of people speaking to the person with the 9807 phone number, not the person with the 9807 phone number? Did that occur to you?
I don't think I understand your question. Can you phrase it?
Okay, so purportedly on exhibits 71, 70, and 69, I believe, where we have the green on the right,
Yes.
the blue on the left.
The extractions.
The extractions, right? So on the right were the statements purportedly texted by whoever had that 9807 phone in their hand.
Correct.
And on the left were the statements with the person with whom that person was communicating.
Yes.
And do you agree with me that 80% at minimum of the statements you read off and interpreted for us in the last several hours were in blue and not in green? You agree with that?
I'd love to go through it and be able to agree with you or disagree with you.
Okay.
You're asking me to like come up with something I wasn't taking into account as I was reading it.
Okay, so it didn't agree. Okay. Before we get into the details, you know the date of the homicides in this case?
I believe it was October 26th,
Of?
2018.
And did it occur to you that in Exhibit 71, do you have that exhibit before you buy it?
Which one is that, sir?
See.
I have a couple. I have an email chain in front of me. I have a photograph. I have some folders.
Okay, so let us begin with Exhibit 70. I think that's the 140-page extraction that you started.
Yes.
Spent the most time on it, right?
It's the longest one.
Okay. You see page 7 of that?
Yes, sir.
On page 7, you see the message at the bottom of page 7?
The time?
Mr. Howard, it's just an icon on the screen, it's a touch screen.
I don't need to see that.
This part here?
I need you to see that part. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Read that one.
November 6, 2018 at 10:27 a.m.
So that would be after the incident?
Yes, sir.
Then you talked about messages on pages as they continued. We got to page 13.
Mhm.
And what's the date there?
February 13th, 2019.
Okay, so anything that you would have discussed within those pages, those messages within those dates, are after the incident?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes long after?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's go to page 33. It's another person who communicated with 9807. Page 33 there.
Yes, sir.
Look at the date of those messages.
Okay.
See that?
Yep.
November 18th, 2018.
See that?
Okay. Almost a month after the incident.
Yes.
Okay. You were spending a lot of time talking about these pages. And from 33, this time up to page 58, before we start with a new phone number, the messages go from November to, again, February of 2019.
Yes, sir.
Long after the incident.
Sure.
Okay. You know this is about an incident that occurred in October, right?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Let's go to page 82. Page 82, same exhibit. November 1, 2018.
Correct.
From page 82 all the way to page 102 before we get to somebody new. All the way to February you get, sorry. Should have got a manicure before this. Pardon the grunge if you should see.
I see it, sir.
You see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a lot of this testimony that you provide occur about messages and communications between the 9807 number and others, concern dates long after the incident, right?
And there was many that were before the incident, like the email chain.
Okay. All right. What I want you to do
Yes, sir.
is listen to what I asked you.
Yep.
And answer if you can.
I did.
A lot of these messages
Yes.
that you have gone through and that I just showed you
Yes.
concern months after the incident
Yes, sir.
and don't have anything to do, therefore, with the planning of such incident, correct?
Planning, no, sir.
Okay. You're saying it does, right? You're saying no, it doesn't? Doesn't have anything to do with planning?
You can't plan something that's already occurred.
Okay.
I'm still agreeing with you.
Okay. Now, would you agree with me, without me going through that exercise, that in Exhibit 71, which was 57 pages, all the way from page 23 to page 57, is all after the incident?
I'd have to see it.
Okay. Page 23.
Yes, sir.
Any dates there?
10/31/2018.
After the incident?
Yes, sir.
Through the end of the document? Page 57?
Yes.
We're back in February of 2019.
Correct.
So as to exhibit number 71, same thing. You've been up here a long time, having fun, but the messages that you were talking about, in a large part of these exhibits, occurred all after the incident, right?
Some of them, yes, for most, a majority of them.
Majority.
Sure.
All right. Some of the pages up there, losing what I'm trying to do. I see the folder. Okay. All right. Now, you were mentioning that Melly, let's call him Melly. Melly was being recruited, you said.
It appears so.
And he was being recruited by several people. Two.
Yes.
And those people who were recruiting him, you'd agree with me that they seem to be the ones actively pursuing the matter?
I feel that they had the most to gain.
They had the most to gain.
Correct.
Okay. Because you're telling us this, being affiliated gives you, puts money in your pocket is one of the things it does.
Good.
Okay. And we actually saw one instance where somebody is asking him for 10 sats.
Right.
I'll get you back 15. Right?
Nice interest rate, yes.
Something not a bad interest rate.
Great.
Okay. And you never saw any response to that?
No.
As a matter of fact, you'd agree with me that several of these messages have no reply, no response.
Yeah.
So much so that in several instances, we had the person on the other end of the line, whoever it was, saying, "Hey, bro, you gonna talk to me or what?"
Correct.
Okay. And you're a good looking guy. You ever had anybody trying to get your attention and you were not interested? That ever happened to you?
Probably.
Blowing up your phone, right?
Yeah.
And you can't not reply forever, but you try and let some of those texts just sit there, right?
Sure.
Don't respond.
I get you.
As an indication of your diminished interest in what they're trying to achieve, which is gain your attention.
Sure.
Okay. Did you see that happening here?
Yes and no.
But there's definitely a yes part, right?
I think there was a lack of communication from the 9807 number, and there was also an interest in seeking out, gaining knowledge from the 9807 number, asking for this. That's why he would send out his email, or the 9807 number would send out an email requesting these documents. When someone's reaching out to me trying to get my attention, I don't give them my email, give them a second form of harassment.
Okay. So you spoke about the concept of fake flagging.
Sure.
You agree with me that if we go to YouTube and type in gang signs,
Right.
you will see multiple tutorials on how to throw up signs. You agree with that?
Yep.
Pages, people saying how to make the signs, right?
There's some really good ones, and then there's a lot of really trashy ones. But yeah, there's plenty of people on YouTube, on social media doing this stuff.
Right. Well, you're an expert, so you know the difference between a trashy tutorial and a good tutorial, right? But there are multiple tutorials.
Yep.
Okay. And so one need not. I think you mentioned about a gang education, learning how to do the signs. You can learn that on YouTube.
Well, can I clarify something? I wouldn't call them tutorials. I would call them videos of people drawing up gang signs. And you can use that to learn the gang signs, but I've only found like, and I know of one or two of someone actually showing and instructing, this is how you put your fingers.
Okay. So you can call them what you want. I'm calling them tutorials. And if you put in gang hand sign tutorial in YouTube,
Sure.
you will pull up multiple videos, right?
I'm not arguing with you.
And because you do your research, you've seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you put up gang sign tutorial in Google, in images, you're gonna see multiple.
You will, but it's not great. Like I said, it's because sometimes, can I give you an example? Okay, so sometimes we see hand signs that we don't recognize. So the first thing we do obviously is go to Google. Google informants, people that we know are part of certain gangs. Hey, have you seen this hand sign? Or Google, show me if you suspect this person to be a blood. Show me blood hand signs, show me crip hand signs. So we can find something that matches up. But I would say most of the time, we fail with Google, because the ones you see on Google are the same images over and over and over again, because there's really not a lot of really good hand signs out there. You'll get videos of, like I said, Mr. Devins, right, throwing up his hand signs, or you'll get videos of a blood all masked up doing a crazy stack to music, or there's a video of certain rappers showing their hand signs. But it's not really something that is good enough for one of us to just sit there and learn, because with the speed that they're throwing up these signs, you would have to slow it down to, like, I don't know, 120 frames per second or something, so you know, frame it out and then see the signs as they move, because it just moves too quickly. I can't watch one of those videos and burn the hand signs.
Fair enough.
It's impossible.
Fair enough. But you're not suggesting to this jury that you can't go onto YouTube and see slow tutorials, step by step. You're not saying that, are you?
I'm saying there are some, but
Okay.
they're not great.
Okay.
And what you'll see is some real basic hand signs.
Okay.
A full. So here's an example. I've been trying to learn how to do the 5-point star for a while. I just can't get my fingers to do it. Maybe it could be carpal tunnel. It could just be that I can't figure out how to do it. I can't find a video to teach me that. And I've looked. And that's one of the most popular blood hand signs. So that's a personal example. He's looking for something on YouTube, on Google, on all forms of social media, and I can't do it. I can see a picture of it, and I'm like, all right, I need to put my fingers that way, and then I can't. That's kind of what I'm trying to explain. Videos are not good enough. It's not like someone says, all right, put your left index finger to your right pinky finger, put it together, squeeze these fingers together. Do that. That doesn't exist. I haven't seen that. If you have, please send it to me later.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
Yes.
All right. Fake flag. What did you say that is again?
Same thing, false flagging, fake flag.
False flag. What is that?
Saying you're part of something when you're not.
And I think you had mentioned that's a great way to get put on a plate.
Yeah, you could.
And when you're put on a plate, it means you were slated for death.
Could mean that, yeah.
You were food.
That's what it means, sir.
I think you said there's if you see food, eat food, or you are food. Right?
Yeah, I don't say that. The blood say that.
The blood said. And,
Yes.
and that means, and that's one of the ways to get put on a plate and be marked for death is by faking, right?
If you're faking, you get called out for it, and you keep faking, that's possibly gonna happen, yeah.
Okay. And what about disrespect? In your direct testimony, you mentioned that being disrespectful is another way, quick way to get killed.
If it's a great enough disrespect, or if the wrong person gets disrespected, yeah.
Okay, so when you are seeing, is there any, if you are in an organization, right? You're part of an organization?
Yes, sir.
Route Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir.
There's a hierarchy there?
Yes, sir.
You got a supervisor?
Yep.
He's got a supervisor?
Yep.
He's got a boss's boss?
Everyone does.
They might not call him the Godfather, but he's the guy who calls the shots.
Yes.
And if your supervisor reaches out to you and you do not respond to him, you think he might think that disrespectful.
Sure.
And if he reaches out to you again and you don't, quick way to get fired, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if the person is reaching out to you repeatedly, and you are non-responsive, you would classify that as being disrespectful, would you not?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least it's subordinate.
Okay. You said you had not seen any situation during your testimony on Thursday. You had not seen any situation where Melly got called out for false flag.
Up until the point that I stopped doing research, I hadn't seen any videos of Melly false flagging. I Googled Melly false flagging and stuff like that, and I couldn't find any videos of someone calling him out. It's complete opposite. It's pictures, videos, posts on Reddit of people supporting him, and bloods all over the state. All the 20s bloods over here in South Florida. I'm one of the highest ranking members of the video with Melly supporting him, saying free slime. So that gives me a good indication that the blood organization as a whole, not just GKB, is behind Melly.
Okay. Earlier when we were speaking, you were mentioning that one of your ways of identifying the blood is, for example, him crossing his hands right over left because blood's favor right. And you said they might do that sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's something.
And when you said sometimes because you conceded, that means that sometimes it's not done, right?
Yes.
And you said stuff about wearing a hat to the right, and you said sometimes that's done,
Correct.
right? And then, but sometimes they don't work to the right, right?
Correct.
Okay. So when you have these some tiny rules, are they rules or are they just indications that you think count as rules?
I want to say the rules. I mean, these are signs and symbols and things that they do. It's not a rule. There's nowhere to say you must wear your hat to the right every time you go out. It's just, we align to the right. Hey, I align to the right. So I'm going out with my blood today. I might wear all red, right? I might wear my red bandana on my right pocket. I might wear a blue bandana on my left pocket, show some disrespect to the Crips. I might wear my hat to the right. If I know I'm going to a specific area where there's different types of games, so that way people know who you are. That is possible.
Okay.
It's not a rule.
But when you might do something and sometimes you might not, it makes it a little bit more difficult to use it as an indicator. If it happens sometimes, it's just like the rest of us. Sometimes I fold my arms right over left, right?
Correct. That's why I don't use one thing on its own.
Okay.
You gotta see more than just one picture. There's plenty of times where I've had to try to identify what gang someone belongs to, and all I have is a screenshot of a private Instagram account, a picture of a guy wearing yellow, and someone saying, this guy might be a Latin king. Now, all I'm stuck with is two things that could be, but I can't say they are, because I don't have anything else. So, no, I won't make a determination based off limited facts and circumstances.
Okay, I want you to look with me at government's exhibit number 70, I believe. And we're going to go at page 55. Let's start there.
Yes.
May I?
You may. Thank you. Soft touch. Okay. Good. All right. Thank you. Page 55. See that?
I see.
And let's see, message at the top of the page. Look at the focus. Focus.
Focusing on the far side.
Oh, yeah,
That
yeah.
one. Yep, I got one. This one's.
These things aren't made for dinosaurs.
You're no dinosaur.
Thank you. All right. 1/30, 2019.
Yes.
There's a message.
Yes.
When is it read?
It's like 7 days later.
Okay.
8 days later.
Is it responded to?
No.
Okay. One pan out. No response.
Right.
Kind of disrespectful, like if you did it to your sergeant, right?
Yep.
Okay. And those messages are from 1:30 to 1:30. Well, here's 2:05. I'm not sure if that's just in there. And then that's page 55. Let's go to page 56. I think you went over this one for us. And that one comes in on February 6, 2019 at 2:32:51.
This one here, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
One more focus. I believe that you're a man of your word. The Godfather behind the wall. You told us that means the head man who's in prison.
Yes, sir.
What's he trying to do to Melly?
Put him on plate.
What does that mean?
Mark him for death. Green light.
Because he's saying that you are using shine
Yes.
for your image.
Yes.
So as of now, and we're all the way into February of 2019, Godfather is trying to put Melly on the plate. What you said didn't happen.
What did I say didn't happen?
You said you never saw any indication of anybody trying to put him on the plate for false flagging. Isn't that exactly what this is going on here?
He's not saying he's false flagging. He's just not putting on for G-Shine the way G-Shine wants him to put on for him.
Okay.
They explain that in the other messages as well.
Okay. So I told him that's a dub. I guess that's a lie.
Mhm.
I don't know what a dub means. You tell me. That's what dub means?
Yeah, he's basically telling him, don't worry about it. Just scratch it.
Okay. But you're just assuming because you don't know what dub means either any better than I do, right?
We're just going on context, sir.
Okay. You signing me in March.
Mhm.
Hope for our sake, that's whoever is talking here, Gino, and whoever's on 9807,
Yes.
that you not flag it.
Correct.
Flag it.
Right.
Meaning false flag.
Lying. I think he's saying lying. Yeah, false lying. Lying.
At this point, it's critical.
Right.
And it's critical because Godfather behind the wall is trying to put people on the plate
Seemed like it reached a boiling point.
and reach the boiling point. And that message was on February 6, 2019, and it was opened on February 6, 2019, about 11 minutes later.
Yes.
And no response.
Correct.
So he gets him again, February 26, 2019. Text him again.
Mhm.
It's red.
Okay.
No response.
Okay.
Kind of disrespectful, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And February 6, 2019, again, and again, and again, and again, and again. We can't read it, so we can't use this machine. But
I agree with you. No responses.
no responses, right?
Mhm.
None. Okay. Good. No, I'm not good, but you're back, so I'm better. Four days later. FR. For real? Right?
Right.
Okay. So this gang member is being told by his supervisor
Yep.
that the Godfather is putting him on a plate.
Yep.
He reads it, right?
Yep.
And he's all into the gang and he knows the consequences, right?
Yes, sir.
4 days later, he says, for real?
Okay.
Okay. So this is the guy that's in the gang that's trying to be recruited and trying to get in with this guy.
I didn't say he was a good gang member.
Okay. So in fact, he was threatened with being put on a plate because he was flagged.
Yeah.
Okay.
For not responding.
For not responding.
For not responding and not doing enough for the organization.
Okay. All right. Well, we're talking about this matter of respect. I want you to go now to page 70 with me, of this same exhibit. Sorry, page 77. Okay. To be clear,
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to disrespect anybody here. Just talking about what we say. I'm not trying to disrespect you or anybody mentioned here.
No
Okay.
disrespect taken.
Okay. But I'm going to ask you if this looks like disrespect to you.
Sure.
What time is that message?
11:18 p.m.
On?
10/3/18.
What time is it read?
20 days later.
It's sitting down there for 20 days.
Hmm.
No response.
Right.
So it says, DL, what'd you say, DL, man?
Down low.
Down low, bro. I'm getting to it now and send it. No response. Then 3 minutes later, at 11:21, same day, bro, SL. What's SL?
Shined up.
No response.
Right.
Gives it a rest until the following day. 10/4/2018 at 4:40:31. You sent it her? See that?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me stop about this her. Your name is Detective Pope.
My title is detective.
Title is Detective. Your name is?
Danny.
You're Danny Pope. So, but in your official capacity, you have to be referred to as detective.
I don't have that preference, so you can call me Danny. But yeah, some detectives want to be called detective.
Some Texans want to be called detectives.
Yeah.
You are a little bit more lax.
Yeah, sure.
The people who are detectives, if they want to be called detectives, do you just call them by their first name anyway?
That's who they are.
If they want you to call them detective, do you call them by their first name anyway? Or do you give them the respect of calling them by the moniker that they want to be called by?
I've never encountered that, but I wouldn't have an issue calling someone detective. That's what they want to be called.
Okay. So when somebody says, call me Herc, and you call them Herc, does it make you a gang member because you refer to them by the name they want to be referred by?
So specific to this, if you are not blood and you're calling someone Herc, you're not G-Shine and you're calling someone Herc, you're going to be told to stop saying that.
That's what you say.
No, it's not. I say that's what I've learned from investigating these things. And like I said, we've had undercover officers that have been in these situations, and when they make that mistake, it's a dangerous concern for us.
Okay.
So I'm not just making this up.
Okay, but dangerous concern, like they get beat up, shot, killed?
No, it gets to that point, where to the point where everyone that's there on standby to possibly have to intervene will be on high alert.
And they never had to intervene.
Because there were baby gangsters, such as Mr. Jones.
Okay, so they never had to intervene, but you were on high alert because you thought it meant more than it actually turned out to me, right?
No, because that's what it means.
Okay.
It means the person that brought us in had to vouch for our undercovers and say, hey, sorry, he's on probation, he's just learning. So it was a thing where it could have turned into something really bad, but someone vouched.
In a room full of people, and the person that was the person vouching for them gave them cover, right?
At least tries to, yeah, they try to.
Let me say first. And so when you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody who's trying to recruit you, that's kind of the relationship you're talking about. That person would be the person who would give you cover in a room full of people you didn't know, but they're a little bit more lax with you.
Yeah,
Right?
they might be, yeah.
And they might say, call me Herc.
They don't say call me Herc.
They won't say that.
No, they just, that's the lingo. You know that's the lingo, and then they would just use the lingo the same way they say blood. Call me blood.
Well, there was a name, look right here. That name was saved under the name Herc, right?
Sir, yes.
There was one saved under the name Gino, I believe.
Mhm.
And there were others we saw saved under other names, right?
Correct.
That one was saved under the name Herc.
Yes.
That person wanted to be referred to as Herc.
Objection,
Right?
citation.
What's his name?
Well, that's a name, Herc, that's associated with a phone number.
I can tell you that's not his name, that's not his preferred name.
Okay. So we're back to this list of this unrequited love here. So 10-4, he gives it a rest for 10-3, he comes back 10-4, 440-31. You sent it her? Response? None. 10-4 at 440-35, just as I. Response? None. 10-4, 61-54. Now it's getting more courteous. Please hit me back. Herc. Niggas set tripping. Shine sat. See that?
Yes, sir.
And forgive me, I'm not gonna go N-word. I'm gonna read what's there. Okay? You can.
I can't.
That's fine. I agree. Don't. All right. But it says, please hit me at 10-4, 2018 at 6:01:54. See that?
Yes, sir.
Any response?
No.
Gives it a rest for 3 days. 10-7. Y001. What did you say that means?
001 means love.
Okay. You up and bopping? Now you said, that's what it said, right?
Yeah, no response.
No response.
Right.
You were beating me too. Okay.
Yeah.
So you agree with me, just let's stop this for a second, that this replacement of the B where C's are is a thing that originated in blood lexicon, blood language.
Sure.
And it has now transitioned into regular, commonplace lexicon, right?
You're saying a bunch of regular people are texting like that?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
No.
Okay, you saw, did you see the show where the guy on HBO where they're making a joke about,
Sorry,
Objection,
what's the objection?
speculation.
What's his name?
I'm asking if you saw the show.
What's his name?
There is a reference to booling on the couch, eating chocolate bit bookies.
Right, me from.
You've heard of that?
Yeah.
Cooling on the couch, eating chocolate chip cookies.
Correct.
And you haven't heard that from the Bloods. You've heard that in regular, this is a joke.
It's satirical.
It's satirical.
Correct.
Because this replacing the B has become something that is now fairly commonplace.
I think they're just making fun of Bloods.
Okay, which is kind of a risky thing to do,
It is.
unless it has just become fairly commonplace.
I don't know who you're texting, but no one I text does that. So I don't see that being commonplace. You go through social media, it's not commonplace. Unless you're on a Bloods account, you start following their followers, and then you see all their Bloods following, doing the same thing. And if you accidentally click on someone who's not a Blood, you just click on a crick, because sometimes they're friends, they'll do the opposite. But people aren't just replacing and misspelling stuff. It's not commonplace. It's commonplace and painful. If you're into making satirical content, then yeah, you're gonna do it. It's like when Justin Timberlake crit walked. Does it make him a crit?
Don't know either.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So now, let's move on to page 78. If you remember at page 79, this whole attempt to get some kind of communication started on 10-3. We're now up to 10-9. You up and bopping her? Any response?
No, sir.
Next one, 10-9, goes back at it again, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 hours later. Just doing my rounds, Herc. Checking up on everybody. You gotta communicate, bro. Right?
Right.
And his feelings hurt a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say that.
That's the number one rule of being a Herc. You can get dubbed out for it. You told us that means you could get kicked out, right?
Correct.
And so, in response to this number one rule and this urgent warning, there is what response?
None.
None.
At least on text message. That we know.
Okay. Oh, you're speculating now.
I'm just saying, like, sometimes people talk on the phone. We're only looking at the text already. So there could be responses. I don't know.
It could have been a Martian then.
It could be anything.
Okay. Okay. And then we get now to 10-10 at 11:55.
Yes.
Godfather asks about you. You need to ball, Gino, line, shine, sap. Whatever that means.
Sure.
No response.
Correct.
10-10, 140. We're doing a head count.
Right.
There's a head count being done.
Yes.
This ain't just checking on him anymore. Now we're counting numbers.
Right.
Let us know if you are still in, bro. If not, speak up.
Right.
No response.
Correct.
Doesn't even open it till 10:23. See that?
Yep.
Waits another 3 days. You, bro, what's good? I know you be busy and shit, but are you effing there? Are you effing with us still? We need to know if you're trying to get your name in the GKB history book and give you your sting. You like our little bro. Whatever it is, you can bark at us or me anytime. I got mad love for you, bro. Like I told you before, I'll kill any N-word or die for you, Herc. This guy, he's saying, I've been trying to reach you now for 10 days. I made it urgent
I agree with you.
by telling you you can get dubbed out for not responding, right?
Yes, sir.
Number one rule. Then I told you we're doing a head count here.
Yep.
And I told you Godfather asking about you, right?
Yep.
You need to call Gino.
Yes, sir.
Now he's going into the fact that, hey, I'll die for you. All right?
Sure.
We want to know if you're still down.
Yep.
Okay. Is that's what superiors in these dangerous gangs do with their underlings? Is that what they do? Say, hey, we want to know if you're still down with us. I mean, please talk to me, please. Is that what that's the hierarchy? Sounds like it's upside down.
Can I respond?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, if he was just a regular fella being recruited into GKB, then that would probably not happen. But because he is Melly Demons, sorry, then they really want him in there because he comes with fame and money.
Okay. They want him in there, really.
They do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's finish up with that. Okay, let's finish up with that. I would kill an N-word or die for you, Herc. That's how much love we got for you. We would have been this same way on you if you wasn't famous, bro. He's lying there?
Yes.
Okay, right? Because he is chasing after that young man and his fame and
Yes.
trying to grab tight to his coattails and they're slipping out of his hands, right?
Correct.
Okay. But trust me, just bark at me like a man. No lost love. SL, forever shine, right shine bright.
Right.
Okay. This is like a love letter.
Really wants him.
Really wants him to at least text it back.
Yeah, at least that.
Show me at least that respect.
Right.
Because if you're not respectful, it might get you put on a plate, but I'm begging you to please respect me.
Yeah, so it seems like the Godfather doesn't have that kind of patience. That's why he's talking about plating. And this guy, he has that patience because he needs him.
That was 10:13 at 12:40. Wait 2 days, still nothing.
Right.
10:15, 10:12. He's getting up early and hitting it earlier. Let's try you 2 days later. Give it a break. And the question, what do you say?
Answer real quick, Herc.
Answer real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we're now gone almost 2 weeks and you can't answer me.
Right.
Don't let me look like a clown up here. Touche. Page 79. 10:15. I thought you was my brother, bro. Shake my head.
Seems like he's getting over it.
Seems like.
He's hurt.
Now, you were the guy who said disrespect gets you put on a plate.
Good.
This is the guy who said number one rule, communicate.
Yep.
There's been a love letter. There's been all this expression of please call me. And now he seems to pad despondent.
Right.
Okay. Still no response.
Not yet.
Next day, 10:16. Talk to me like a man, bro. We supposed to be brothers. Just let me know what's going on. That's all.
Right.
Now this man, this gang member, this man you say is a gang member, is now doubting whether they're brothers. So the gang member himself, who supposedly tapped him in, he himself is in doubt as to whether this man is in his gang.
He's, I think he's scared he's about to lose his meal ticket.
So how about that? On 10:23, 20 days later. Rise up, Herc.
So he read all those messages at the same time, it seems. Every single message that said read 10:23, it was at the same time. So he opened that thread all on the same day. They all read, reviewed at the same time. And as soon as he opened that thread, he sent that message. So yeah, he probably had his phone full of messages and finally eventually went through them, or at least through that, right?
Is your phone like my phone that tells you when there's a message to it?
Yeah, I mean, I always have unread messages. I'm really bad at texting.
And is your phone like my phone that tells you not only that there is a message, but who is trying to text you?
Yeah.
And is your phone like my phone and it tells you how many texts are building up over this course of time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what you're saying is he took 2 weeks to read them, 20 days actually,
Yeah.
and when he did, he said, "No, I saw her."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Right?
He's famous. He can get away with things.
Okay. So the rules that you say apply about being disrespectful and being put on a plate don't apply to you.
Saying they clearly weren't applying to him.
And the rules that you say apply, or that person said apply about it being a number one rule to stay in touch,
Yeah.
don't apply either.
They're not using it correctly, are they? It's evident. They're telling him to do these things and he's not doing them. And they're threatening him and he's not doing it. So yeah, he wasn't being who he was supposed to be, and that's shown on messages.
Your answer is he wasn't being who he's supposed to be, and you never considered it's because he's not who you think he is.
He's asking for these documents. When I asked to join the sheriff's office, I asked for an application. I didn't ask for an application to RTP because I didn't want to join them, right? He's asking for applications from 2 different G-Shine sets. Books of knowledge are applications. They're not going to hand those out to someone who doesn't want to be. If I message a G-Shine guy tomorrow on social media, he's not just going to give me his book of knowledge.
It's because he's not clout chasing you. You mentioned clout chasing earlier. What does that mean?
Chasing fame.
And you saw in these messages, you went over a few where he was saying, "Hey, I'm a rapper too, and can I send you my music?"
Yes.
And I told the Godfather, "Don't put you on the plate because you're going to sign me."
Right.
You saw that?
Yeah.
And I sent you some beats. Could you check those out?
Yeah.
You saw that.
Yeah, they're both trying to use each other.
But who's trying to use each other?
G-Shine's trying to use Melly and Melly's trying to use G-Shine.
That's how you read that.
That's why I took all the evidence. If not, I wouldn't have made an album cover growing up G-Shine and putting the G-Shine motto. So he's clearly using G-Shine, and now G-Shine clearly wants to use Melly.
So like when we were watching Wimbledon and Serena Williams wins and starts crip walking, she's trying to use the crips?
No, I went over that with Justin Timberlake.
Right.
Sometimes people just show homage to where they're from.
So,
More than that.
so when it's Justin Timberlake, it's homage.
No, I said Serena Williams is doing the same thing.
So you testified just now that Anthony Williams was not a part of the gang.
I couldn't determine which gang he would have been a part of. There's, like I said, there's videos and photographs of him throwing up gang signs, like blood hand signs. And I know early on in the YNW collective, when they were younger kids, YNW went by a neighborhood street gang that happened to wear blood colors and use blood hand signs. So maybe that's where that came from. But I couldn't find a further connection. That's possibly also because he's not alive.
Possibly also because you didn't go through his phone with
His phone extraction?
with a fine-tooth comb, right?
Yeah, that would be part of it too.
Okay. So when you come and say, "Hey, I could not determine," strike that. You told us when we spoke to you on February 17, 2022, that Anthony Williams is a gang member. You told us that, did you not?
I believe based off the little bit that I had, I was, remember, because when we were going through the depositions, I had just gotten the discovery and I was slowly reading through it. So I kept saying, I don't know for sure just yet. I need to see more of this. I said that many times. I even wrote a report that indicates I haven't finished going through all this. So yeah, at the time, I thought maybe he's a blood victim.
But you,
So I can't definitively, I cannot say that at the moment.
but on February 17, 2022, when we spoke to you in deposition, you did say so definitively, did you not?
It was apparent. That's what it appeared to be. And I kept digging. I wouldn't want to make that determination at the moment.
Not because you have seen stuff that tells you he's not, but just because you haven't looked through his phone, right?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
Well, you see Anthony Williams throwing up hand signs, right?
Mhm.
You see him wearing red.
Yep.
You see him associating with other people who you claim to be gang members.
Yes.
And you say, but no, he's not a gang member.
So this is why I say that. Because initially, as I'm going through this, I thought, okay, these 4 guys are all together. They're probably all part of the same gang, right? Same blood gang. They're all throwing up bees. They're all wearing red. But then it became apparent that Melly was not in the same set as any of the other guys. So I could not determine whether he was in a different blood set or whether he was still repping 48th Avenue Army Gang, which was their neighborhood street gang name, where they wore camouflage in red and threw up bees. So no, that's not a determination I want to make.
Okay, but you did make it on February 17th.
I said it appeared that he was bloody.
Okay. You said he was. You didn't say it appeared anything.
Objection
Right?
for impeachment.
Thank you. Council, we've raised questions sustained.
You said definitive on February 17th, 2022, that Anthony Williams.
Objection and proper impeachment.
Mr. Gonzalez. Thank you. Let the record reflect the jury stepped out. Councilman Hall, the defendant. I just get another message. Somebody on the jury.
This would be a perfect time to break.
Well, that's what I want to bring up. How much more do you have?
I think it's gonna go past 5. So if we're gonna break now, then that's fine.
Well, how about your, I'd like to, I don't know how much, what kind of redirect you have?
Not very long, Your Honor. So I think I have 6, 7, 8 questions potentially.
So let's just keep going, see where we go. As far as your other witness, we're never going to get to the other one.
Okay. Maybe I'll do it. Figure out a timing when I go back to turn into my mouth.
Well,
Should be this one.
I'd rather have to Miami now, instead of day. I'm just making a comment. I'm sorry. Sorry, Judge.
All right. Thank you. We're in recess. Ms. Cummings, do you rest of them? Yes.
Witness. Let's go and see whether or not they're going to be able to score those points, or whether or not this witness will come out favorable for the prosecution at the end of the day.
10/31/2018.
After the incident,
Yes, sir.
through the end of the document.
Witness, state attorney, and the witness, Danny Cole, Detective Cole remains on stand. Yes.
There was just some sort of YouTube video up or anything. I don't know if the defense counsel was intending on using it. Nothing's been turned over to the state in terms of reciprocal discovery on anything of that nature. So
The question was posed whether or not if you pull up YouTube, you're gonna see tutorials. The witness said no. This is YouTube. This is something that was evoked by the witness. This is denial of the existence of something that is public knowledge and open to the world. Anybody who pulls up YouTube is gonna see the exact same thing. This is not a matter of us ambush state with stuff that we're putting in our case. This is a response to the witness saying that these types of tutorials do not exist in a manner that if you pull them up, you see.
So it's a collateral issue, and it would not be the proper way of impeaching a witness on that. And he's agreed that there are certain videos that are out there. And again, it's a collateral issue. That's not appropriate to put that before the jury.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Anything else from defense?
I'm not quite sure what the collateral issues germane, what the state is trying to prove. This witness said the signs, the hand signs that that Melly displayed are things you learn in your tutorial as a gang member. You can learn them on YouTube. And I think that's pertinent. It's part of what the state is trying to use to establish him as a gang member. The fact that you do not have to do it in gang member to hand signs 101.
Let me cut you off for a minute. Sure. Why don't you play the video? Let me see what it looks like. Jury's night. Let's take a look at the video.
And as Ms. Liberty just pointed out, he also asked you to show the video.
Specifically of the 5.7.
That's good.
So just rewind it a little bit.
Play.
It is fine.
Okay.
So what's for the purpose of
Excuse me, Counsel. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so I've seen the video, and the state's saying that they object to it, so it's a collateral issue.
It's a collateral issue, as well as this has never been disclosed or turned over by defense or listed as any sort of a defense exhibit in any way, shape, or form
So you're saying it's a Richardson violation?
as well.
Thank you. So why don't you explain to me, counsel, why it's not a Richardson violation?
This is not evidence that the defense is putting in its case in chief that it would turn over in the course of discovery. I asked this witness whether or not these YouTube tutorials exist.
Can I stop for a minute? Sure. Is this, when did you find out about this video?
Last night while I was trying to prepare and thinking of what I might ask him.
So, and then when he gave an answer, that's when you decided to use the video. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, he answered that they do exist, but not in slow motion. So I wouldn't expect him, since he indicated in his direct testimony that he searches the net and what have you, for him to say they don't. So he says that they do, but certain ones don't. And I would like you to show me. And we are going to run.
So, Flip, you're telling me that you looked on it last night on YouTube to see if there was some type of tutorial on gang signs. You found this on YouTube last night, and at that time you didn't know whether you're going to use it or not, depending on how this witness answered the questions.
Correct.
Anything else from your side, Madam State?
Just that in terms of to play this for the jury would not be proper impeachment. The detective acknowledged that videos exist. I think the fact that they're characterizing it as a tutorial or something like that was improper. That was counsel's words, not the detective words on that.
Thank you. Well done. Counsel, respectfully, regarding whether this is a Richardson violation or not, it doesn't seem to me it's a Richardson violation. This is something that's inadvertent. Counsel is suggesting there's no reason to doubt what he's saying. He represented me something he found out last night, didn't know or not, would have been use it depending on what the answers to the witness were. I think it's clearly it's responsible to some of the statements that the witness made. So I think it is impeachment. Objection, no, it's overruled. All right.
And so is this going to be entered in as?
I don't know what counsel intends to do with this. At this juncture, you're objecting to being shown whatsoever, and I don't know if you're going to show it to the witness again in front of the jury or not. I don't know how he intends to use it. We'll cross that version when we get there.
I further object as improper impeachment because the witness would have to deny that such a video existed. He did not. He said that yes, there are such videos. So now Your Honor, would be on a collateral issue as to whether or not videos exist on the internet on that to be allowed to be played before the jury.
That's what I just said. I thought that's what I just said. I said that that's impeachment. You talk about a 5-star, can't find it. They specifically look for it, can't find it, and this is what counsel's showing it's on there. So that's my point, and not my point. That's counsel's point, and I think it is impeachment. So
if the witness
do I need to
acknowledges,
be more clear than that, or so your objection is noted. It's overruled.
Yeah.
Clear enough for you?
and so then for the witness's clarification on that, if he acknowledges that a video is shown to him and that there are such videos exist, would Your Honor then still allow defense to play the videos?
I don't know where we're going with this. As I said, we're going to take a look at it and go step by step. All right. So bring the jury in. Jury entering. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Please be seated. Let the record reflect the presence of the defendant, gentlemen, the counsel, the state members. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury and our witness, Detective Polo remains on counsel. People we broke your showing from the application. See.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
You were actually, it was a deposition on April 11th, 2022.
Okay.
At that time, you had another 2 months to review.
Some more evidence.
And that's why you met again, because at that point you had the opportunity to analyze some more information.
Sure.
And do you remember being asked this question and giving this answer?
Okay.
Question. Do you have any evidence that Anthony Williams, or Christopher Thomas were foot soldiers, Askaris, or anything higher up? Answer. I don't believe Mr. Williams or Mr. Thomas were members of his lineup or his set. You remember that?
If that's what I stated, yes. I mean, I remember having a conversation with you, sir.
And do you remember, I think this was probably Mr. Allison. And do you remember continuing your answer? I have no idea what rank they were in whatever blood set they claimed. I just know they were parts of different blood sets.
That's what it appeared to be.
Okay. Well, so since then, based on the fact that you have not reviewed their phones, you are no longer certain if they were involved if they were gang members, right?
No, the point I'm trying to make, sir, is that I would need to do more research. Like, let's say I was going to trial on something for Mr. Williams to testify that he were a gang member. I wouldn't go forward with the limited evidence that I've reviewed on him. I'd have to do a little more digging. So that's the point I was trying to make.
Okay. But just so we're clear,
Sure.
you saw him throwing up gang signs,
I believe so.
You saw him in the company of people you are claiming were gang members.
Yes.
You saw him wearing red.
Yep.
And at least on April 11th of 2022, you said definitively, I just know there were parts of different blood sets.
So what it appears to be. I like to have a little more than just, you know, one of each thing. So one hand sign, one color. I'd like to have a lot more.
Okay, so you shouldn't have said what you said on April 11th, 2022 then.
No, I'm still saying the same thing. It appears to be a blood. I would like to do more research if I would have to withdraw something. Just the same thing.
May I approach you on?
Yes.
I want to show you a copy of what I just read to you.
Yes, sir.
Page 31, April 17th, state, beginning at line 3. I want you to just read to yourself from line 3 through line 7.
Yes. So you just right here.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't see anywhere there where it says it appears to be. You said, I know.
Okay. I'll agree to disagree. Same thing to me. You appear to be an attorney. You are an attorney. It's the same thing. I'll take the appear out.
The state asks you whether or not one blood gang member murdering other blood gang members is something that would have to be sanctioned. Remember that?
I don't remember if that's how it was phrased, but yeah, I remember something to that effect.
One gang member, well, we know disrespecting somebody could get you killed, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Not communicating could get you killed. Correct?
We get violated.
False flagging could get you killed.
Sure.
Okay. And killing another gang member without it being sanctioned, did that get you killed?
I'm sure if you killed the wrong gang member, yeah.
And you never reviewed anything anyway where you saw before 10/26/2018 anybody putting Anthony Williams on a plate,
No, sir.
Christopher Thomas on a plate,
No, sir.
calling them food,
No.
sanctioning their executions.
No.
And so if Melly engaged in that activity, he himself could be put on a plate, right?
If he killed someone without it being sanctioned, if he upset the wrong person, I mean, someone from, let's say, Mr. Williams or we're speaking about Mr. Williams, let's say Mr. Williams was part of another set, that set could have an order on Melly. That's very possible. It could exist right now.
Could.
It could. That's not knowledge I have, so I can't say, yes, there is. Melly's greenlit or he's not greenlit. There's been rumors, but I can't prove that.
And today could actually be Tuesday, but it's Monday, right?
Sure.
You never saw anywhere where you saw two instances where you are suggesting to this jury that Melly was sent an oath, right?
Listen to what?
An oath.
Yes.
And they were different in large part, but you said they were essentially the same, right?
I would say in large part, the wording was slightly off between the two.
Oh. And you never read anywhere where he took an oath, right?
What do you mean?
You never read anywhere where, you know what an oath is?
I understand what an oath is.
For example, somebody becomes elected judge or president, they
Yes.
raise their hand,
I get that.
and they take an oath.
Yes.
You never saw anywhere in any of these communications where any oath was taken like this, man, never.
That would have been asked of him in person.
So the answer is no.
No, sir. It's not on phone.
I want you to look back at government's exhibit number 70. At page 31, you address that. Oh. Thank you. Okay. Page 31. You addressed this in your direct testimony. On 10/24/2018, there's this oath that's being sent by Gino.
Yes, sir.
Was Gino the same person that was kept saying, please?
No.
That wasn't him?
No, that was her.
That was her, okay.
Javon Burnham.
And he sent this oath on what date?
October 24, 2018 at 12:37 a.m.
Is there a response?
No response.
What day is it opened?
November 18, 2018.
So it's sent 2 days before the incident that's at issue here,
Yes.
and it's opened almost a month later?
Yes, sir.
So this oath that you never saw Melly take, when it was sent to him, then he owned it for a month.
I don't believe that was the first time it was sent to him. That was one of many times it was sent to him. The email, I believe, was sent to him September 18, 2018.
That one, we just looked at,
That one wasn't.
was not opened for
Correct.
almost a full month.
Right.
Would you describe that as eager?
Eager? It looks to me from looking at Melly's phone or the 9807 phone that he didn't respond to many messages. So it's apparent because it's not just one person saying it, it's multiple people saying it.
Do you deal with many celebrities?
Do I deal with celebrities?
Have you?
Sometimes.
And you're aware of the phenomenon, you're aware of what they call paparazzi?
Yes, sir.
People who chase them around with cameras.
Yes.
And you're aware of what they call fans?
Mhm.
People who chase them around for their attention.
Of course.
Okay, and you use the word clout chaser, right?
Yep.
And it would be people
Mhm.
trying to reach
Yep.
people, and there'd be no response.
Yes.
Whoever was on that 9807 line, right?
There was no response.
What are these? You said something about gang convention meetings. What are those?
So I explained it a little bit. I think, I remember it was during Giraffe before that. So most of these gangs will host like the national day. It's like they're celebrating the birthday, right? It doesn't have to fall on their birthday. So I explained, the first one I explained was the 5-9 Brims, Blood Set. They host theirs on May 9th because they call it the 5-9 Brims. May 5th is 5-9. So they happened to host theirs. Last one they hosted in Tampa was live streamed, and it was on May 9th.
And how many of these convention meetings did you see Melly attend?
That was 5-9 Brims. I haven't seen I don't believe I've seen a GKD one online. I can search for it and see if I can find something, but I haven't seen one personally. And it's not the kind of thing where if you don't show up, you're in trouble. It's a party.
You said among the things that you did in analyzing material to determine whether or not Melly is a gang member was you observed his tattoos.
I looked at his tattoos.
And you saw that he had a Z10 tattoo.
Correct.
Which you said is a Zone 10 tattoo.
Right.
And you found that curious because he's not in Zone 10 gang.
Yeah, so while going through Melly's phone, I saw the video of when he got that tattoo. It appears him and Wisdom Williams was a member of Zone 10. Each got each other's, I wouldn't call it, well, Zone 10 is a gang with smaller gangs within it, but so Wisdom Williams got YNW tattooed on him, and then Melly got Zone 10 tattooed on him, kind of like showing allegiance or friendship.
And you said YNW is not a gang.
I wouldn't call him a gang.
Okay. But Zone 10 is, you said.
Zone 10, I don't want to get to Zone 10. It's just going to confuse everyone.
Melly's not a member of Zone 10.
Melly's not a member of Zone 10.
There's no, can you think of a way to false flag more than tattoo it on your skin?
Not when you did it with a member of that organization.
Okay, that one member.
Yes.
You sent out like a global memo to let everyone Zone 10 know when you see it?
Zone 10 isn't a global game. There's a handful of people, and they would all know. No one's going to get upset because that happened. It's not a national game. They're not reporting to a guy in New York. Wisdom Williams was one of the top guys. If Wisdom Williams said, hey, get this tattoo with me, and I'll get this tattoo with you. That sounds like a good idea. We're friends.
You saw when this guy Gino asked Melly if he could get into YNW.
The collective, music collective, yes.
Trying to further his, what he was trying to establish as a music career.
Correct.
Council, can I see his report, please?
Running through my research, just leave your notepad on the chair to receive. Hey, Joe, I was just curious with music.
No, I was
But, I was curious how much more we had. My thought is based on what I heard from council, we should just break now. So remember the admission, 5 o'clock, so don't discuss the case, don't form any opinion about the case, don't allow anyone to discuss the case in presence, so no research. Just leave your notes on the chair, we'll see everybody back here tomorrow now. All right? Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Councilman, Council, I should have asked you before, what's the date or time frame of this YouTube video that you displayed before?
11 months ago. 11 months ago. Prior to my death, or after I was. There's a good one that I left. It's the YNW on the inside.
11 months ago, Judge.
I'm sorry?
11 months
You know
ago.
what the date is on? Should I say the date?
All it shows is 245,000 views, and then it says 11 months ago. I guess tonight I could play with it if you wanted me to figure out if I'm not that computer savvy though.
And Your Honor, let me just say this before you comment. I don't want to marry myself to that. They are separate. So if what the court is, let me not anticipate what the court plans to say, but let me just put the state on notice that somehow the court thinks that one should be time barred for any reason, then we will go hunting for more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Council, I was curious, as to the age of the video, but you're indicating to me, you're representing to me, that this is something that you looked at for the first time last night, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you will further represent, you know whether it's something you're going to use or not in trial, and what the evidence and how the evidence played out.
That's right.
All right, I was just curious as to the date.
Thank you.
All right, so tomorrow morning, and when do you anticipate the witness coming in? I guess,
I'm trying to go around to accommodate people's driving schedules and things like that.
let me stop you for 1 second. How much more do you think you have of this witness?
25 minutes to an hour, maybe.
So you'll be on, let's say, an hour.
So,
And that's a maximum, you think?
that's it.
And so how much time do you think you have in redirect? You said 10, 11 questions? I think it's less than that.
Yeah, it was at 8 or so, depends on what other areas the fence goes into.
15, 20 minutes?
I think that's an appropriate
So
estimation.
let's say hour and a half, more of this witness, and then your next witness is going to be the doctor, same doctor who's here today, or
It could be her, it could be the other one I have to discuss with them this evening as to their schedules.
do you have the same issue with photographs as to both witnesses?
Yes, sir.
So, and again, I haven't thoroughly read this case, but I've seen cases, several cases before regarding photographs. My understanding of all is depending on what the witness needs to explain or illustrate the testimony. So,
Correct, yeah.
if she's going to do that, say she needs this one, and, to explain why. I mean, I don't want a lot of duplicates in there if they're not needed. And, if it's less, and I haven't seen photos, so I don't know how graphic they are, but if they're less graphic photos, the least graphic photos, the one I would suggest we do, but I don't know what's out there. I haven't seen the photographs. I'd like to take a look at those.
Sure, Your Honor, we had done this prior to the deposition of Dr. McDougal and Dr. Sauer. The defense had agreed upon photos, and we had circled them, and they're now just now raising the objection. Again, I can give Your Honor the contact sheets, which will show all the photographs, and then the circled ones are the ones that the state is intending on using.
Is it noted as to which one the offense is objection to?
No, that is not noted on there, but we could do that. That would make it easier for Your Honor.
If we could do that, could you just mark off which ones you're objecting to?
So there are 13 injuries to the victim, one victim, and there's 3 injuries to the other victim. So I would imagine that they would need approximately 13, say 20 tops on the victim that has 13 injuries. And on the 3 injuries, no more than 5 to 10 on those, quite candidly.
And you're right. Typically, it's the doctor's going to say what they need.
Yes, sir, I understand.
And so my thought would be, I'd like to know which ones you're, so you're not saying there's specific photographs that you don't want, it's the number, is that correct? Am I
Yes,
understanding?
and I do believe the state is allowed to introduce for demonstrative purposes, or to aid the jury, some of the injuries and to explain them. I'm not disputing that they should all be included.
I think that, I understand that,
Yes.
but also the state's not intending to show these to the jury as demonstrative, they're intending to introduce them to evidence, that's the way I understand it, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, because they would aid in jurors in understanding how the ones are infected and things of that nature.
So this is my thought. Any issue with having counsel, just speak with the doctor and trying to pare this number down?
That's fine.
Well, that's what we did before the demo, Your Honor. So that was something we had done
Well-
back in 2022.
So I don't know if things have changed or not. Just my thought is that we need to review the doctors just need to review the photographs to see if there's less graphic photos and the number of photos to minimize whatever prejudicial effect is going to be. If the pictures illustrate the same point and explain the same point, we don't need duplication.
And the state agrees 100% in terms of the fact that there's internal injuries and external injuries. I think that has to be taken into account the sheer number of gunshot wounds inflicted.
I 100% agree with you, but that's something a witness, I think needs to be, questioned about, just verify you need X picture to show what, and Y picture to show what. Proceed. If they're indicating they need them to illustrate the testimony, and these are, the least graphic photos to explain the point that the doctor's trying to get across. That's, I guess, what I need to hear.
Yes, Your Honor. And so we'll give you, I'll have defense counsel go and object to the specific ones, and then give you the contact sheet so you can go through those.
I understand counsel, and maybe I don't, but I thought his objection was not so much the pictures are graphic. He understands that. His objection is the number of pictures.
Correct.
Instead of 60, it should be reduced somehow to 20, not any specific photograph is being too graphic or there's a less graphic picture to be used. Am I understanding your objection correctly?
That is correct.
And so I just in terms of as long as the doctor says they need it, because there is no case law that says that X number of photographs is too much, unless counsel would be kind enough to point me to some, but it's always been whatever the witness says that they need.
I'm not aware of that case law. I think counsel suggested he's not aware of the case law. It's not a question of the number. It's a question of whether the witness needs the pictures to illustrate her testimony or the doctor's opinions. But I think there's plenty of case law out there that suggests you can't keep throwing duplicates up there to show the same injury or the same trauma or something like that. So we just want to minimize what we can. If it's internal versus external, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, those are explaining different things, but I don't want duplicates of the same injury, i.e. external viewpoint, internal viewpoint, that type of thing. I think that's, we need to just reduce it. And I understand counsel's point. I haven't seen any of the pictures. His argument is not so much the graphic injury, it's the number of pictures.
What I will do is I'll meet with Ms. Bradley tomorrow morning, hopefully before court, and we'll go over all of the photographs that she intends to use and the reasons why she believes the doctors need. That's fair enough.
So in terms of the photos, we've already gone over that and done that. I think it's a waste of time to do it in a vacuum without Your Honor there to make the judgment as to all of the photographs on that. The state is not trying to introduce all 212 that were taken by any way, shape, or form. We've pared it down already.
To 60, correct? You have 61.
Yes, because there's injuries A through U on that particular individual. So
I'll review them again in the morning and try to make it as quick as easy as possible.
Thank you.
I'm trying to cooperate.
And to clarify your last question, Mr. Polo found it was July 11th or July 7, 2020? July 7, 2020 was when the video was taken.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, counsel?
No, sir. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Naturally, I'm muted. But all right, Taylor Gang. So, I mean, today to me was another waste, okay? Because, day 8 was a waste because unless the state is alleging that this was a part of some type of gang initiation, the whole theory or the thought that gang charges are brought in for the death penalty is crazy in itself. But even more so that they are putting these text messages up here, and it was just crazy. Like, it has absolutely nothing to do with the murder. It was a complete waste of time. So interested to see what happens in day 9. But I'm actually gonna wrap up today at 1 Central right now because I'm gonna take my girls to Chili's and my son. I'm gonna take them to Chili's because they want to do if you're on TikTok, you know how everybody they eating the mozzarella sticks. My girls want to do the mozzarella sticks, so I'm getting ready to take them to Chili's. But just know that I am going to do my research tonight on DA Jackie Johnson's trial that's coming up, where she's going to be defended by Mr. Steele and Mr. Adams in this case that y'all was just talking about. So I will be creating a video on that. I'm gonna try to do a 1-minute recap. Hopefully I can find some documentations and I can whip up another Taylor Talk to go into details. If you haven't seen my Taylor Talk already, go ahead and check it out. In this episode, I go through Julio Fulio recap. I even show you the video of the night of the unaliving. I go through the suspects, and I talk a little bit about the first trial that we're going to watch that starts on January the 6th. So make sure you check that out. I also talk about the United Health Group United Health Group shooter. I talk about Luigi and how they actually got him a state and federal charges on his indictments. So make sure that you check that out. And I think that there are some other cases that are gonna come up as well in January. Shout out to CB because he did point out that YNW Bortland's case, his trial is supposed to start in January as well. So I think I'm gonna start a new series of shorts. Well, they're gonna be TikToks, but when I upload them to YouTube, they're shorts. So I think I'm gonna start a series of upcoming trials so that we can keep our calendar together and give y'all something to look forward to. Because a lot of people do ask, what other trials are you going to cover? What is on the calendar for this year? I've got that question at least twice in the last week. So I want to make sure that we have a nice little playlist to let the people know what we're going to be following. As always, if you want to recommend something, if there's something that you want to watch because you guys are a part of Taylor Gang, all you got to do is reach out to me. Let me know the trial that you want to watch. You can either jump in the comments and let us know, or you can DM me. You can DM me on X or on TikTok and let me know what you think. Also, shout out to Mixed Chicks today, okay? Because our girl gifted 5 memberships. So if you got a membership today from our girl, just make sure that you say thank you, because it is greatly appreciated. If you actually do have a membership, and you write inside of the membership chat area on the channel, your suggestions will be picked up first. So if there's something that you want to watch and you are a member, I will absolutely do what you want to do first. Other than that, I think that is it for the day. I will let you guys know that I'll do a 1-minute recap on the Jay-Z situation since he told them to let me out the chat. And I'll also do a video on the TikTok ban. A couple people asked me about that. So I'll do a video on the TikTok ban. But hope you guys have a great Friday. New Year's is coming up. I think we're going to stream on Monday. So we'll be back on Monday to stream. And we'll be back next week to stream too, because we got to wrap up. Melly. So again, I hope you guys have a great night. And I'll see you guys later.